this photograph. Don't know why. Every time I look, I get shivers down my spine. You're such a beautiful face. I know those eyes take me back in time. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe, OMI, DEFFINITY, DEVVE, daCat, FIAS update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. We've got bits to go over today. Crypto fear and greed index has risen from 10 to 12. That is up 20%. It's still really bad, still extreme fear, but I will take that. It does seem like a lot of the. So today I was at the gym, day 8 of my diet and workout regimen, by the way. I think I'm down 2.5 pounds in 8 days, so not bad. I'll see if I can get any lower. Started at 194, about 191.5 now, give or take. Yeah, it's slow going. It was a lot easier to diet when I was in my 20s. Mid 30s is a lot harder. Anyway, I was at the gym today and I saw Bloomberg, MSNBC, one of those places. They were saying that you want to be positioned now for when the recovery happens, and they're thinking a recovery happens once they announce an official end to the Iran war. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, because, you know, I didn't expect it to be like Venezuela, where we're in and out in a day. It's been a few weeks. I get it. Let them cook. But I really don't want this dragging on for years or even months. But again, it's been a few weeks, so we'll see. But it seemed that Wall Street was generally fairly positive that this was going to be, this is going to be it. This is going to be the, the next couple weeks. And the government even gave a tentative date of April 9th. Cool. Even if they go past that date and it's May, it's gonna be May, then, you know what, then it's over inside a couple months. Cool. I'll take that. I think I get a decent check in either May or June. Either way. Then I saw Trump today, like an hour ago, say that Cuba's next. President Trump, Mr. President, my brother in Christ, support any U.S. president as long as their goal is to benefit Americans. Does that need to happen? My crypto bags, this is what I almost put today as the thumbnail. Bitcoin pretty much the same as 2021. Ethereum pretty much the same. Solana's down a bit. It's been a while, and I would like it to not be that way. I think it would benefit a lot of people if the wars would stop. But you know, I'm just a lonely little former Air Force veteran. Don't know if I'd be eligible, although they did put the draft back up to 42. I don't know if they can draft me because I have a card, and if he wanted to call me back in his first term, he could have until like December 2020. So yeah, he could have drafted me back. Didn't happen. They did ask me back in the Rona, in that pandemic. I got an email and they're like, hey, we want you back. And I said, I sent them a meme of Thanos where he says, you could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me. And they didn't respond. But yeah, I'm hoping that the war with Iran, after that ends, and hopefully that soon. Hopefully there's no new wars. But again, Trump today said Cuba's next, so we're probably going to be in this for a little while. That being said, if anyone's got some money coming in over the next few months, it might be a decent time to buy. It might be a time where stuff actually goes lower, because why not? Also, I am so in such a caloric deficit these last few days. I ate a piece of bread while on the phone with emoji. Oh, also happy not WinterCon. I don't know what con it's at, but in Disney in Anaheim, that's where they are. I think it's in Anaheim. Disneyland in California, wherever they are. There's a meetup there. VeVe Fam meetup. You can go. It's this weekend. And then one at C2E2. I don't know why it's the same weekend, but it is. Hey now. Hey now. Okay, sorry. So anyway, that's that. VeVe sells out Avatar. I would have lost this bet because I thought they would. Well, originally I thought it would sell out sooner. I think partially because the mint number 2005, it was minted like right away. So I was like, damn. You know, I didn't suspect that it would happen right away. So figuring it would go a little bit slower, meaning that we wouldn't have hit the 2005 mint until like halfway through. So it hit very quickly. And that's the reason why we didn't do I don't want to say instant sellout, but that's why we didn't sell out closer to the drop date. Is because if it would have, or if it would have waited until it was at least halfway done, then it's like, okay, you know, it would have sold out quicker. But because it hit like right away, the buying slowed down because you had a lot of flippers that are no longer incentivized to really buy. Although, because the secret rare got you like $200, you know, you're 5xing your money on a $40 pull. And at the time, I think it was like $17 on VeVe, and then like it got down to 12, and I caught some of those, buying some Angs at 12 on Stacker. And then today, yeah, today it just went for broke. Now it grossed over $85,000. So shout out to them. There was a lot of sales that happened today, and we'll go over the new users and stuff. We had a Spider-Man sell. We had VeVe Gold logo sell. This was I don't want to go over this. It was O'Milly. O'Milly had sold, and he's a little bit of mixed reactions from it. Listen, this was so if anyone here like me, and granted, brought up for the most part in America, super thankful for that. I feel like a lot of times America's, I don't like this. I don't like this. It's too much, you know, I don't like this type of milk. I don't like, do you know, like in Peru or in Cuba where Trump's going to invade next? They don't have milk. They don't have these things like that. You have milk, obviously, but yeah, it's so I don't want to like sit here and complain though. Oh, I never got this. I'm trying to come from a place where, yes, very thankful for what I have in America, because if you're in America, you're already winning. That's already like, boom, like winning the lottery ticket is if you're brought up in America, because there's so much more opportunities than almost anywhere else. Anyway, that being said, when I was younger, sometimes things that I got were not necessarily for me, for whether it's a birthday or Christmas present, whatever. And if you get a gift, now I understand, like, hey, you know, you give someone something, you know, yeah, it'd be nice if they like kept that, you know, it's a gift. But a lot of times, and it's not like anyone asked me, it's not like I was asking for expensive stuff. It's not like I was asking, like, I mean, I think video games back in the day were expensive, you know. I think they were like $30 or $50 for like a Nintendo or Game Boy game, but even stuff as simple as like water. like it was like, I liked bottled water, I liked Aquafina, it was good, sue me. But yeah, sometimes I would get something from a family member or whatever. I didn't want the gift, I didn't like the gift, maybe I can exchange the gift. Now, I didn't say that. But yeah, maybe sometimes I would like to, like, if I gave somebody a gift, one, I would ask them what they want. Or honestly, if anything, what I've learned over the years, especially if it's like a younger person, just give them cash. Cashola. That's it. But I distinctly remember a couple of times where I got something that I didn't ask for, I didn't want, and I was forced to keep it. Okay, cool. I'll have this, like forever. But if I were to give someone something for something that they did or didn't do, or just like, hey, you know what, I thought of you. Figured this would be nice. And then I had to find out through the grapevine to tell me like, hey, can I like exchange this? I was like, sure. Get because I want them to have something they actually want. So O'Malley sold his logo, it was given to him. So it's all profit. So one, shout out to O'Malley, making that bread, getting that bread. He put it up somewhere. Someone wanted to buy it. Cool. I'm saying I have sympathy towards syndrome. Because O'Malley doesn't go to events for whatever reasons are his own. He's not going to be going to these, private parties. He's not going to be going to redeem stuff because he doesn't go to these events. And again, he has his own reasons. I understand, like, if you're a friend of his and you're like teasing him, like, oh, paper hands O'Malley, like, okay, yeah, if you're boys, if you're friends, yeah, we tease each other. If you're friends, like, honestly, like, especially from the military, we would hurl absolute racial slurs, derogatory stuff at each other, and that's how you know you love each other. But yeah, if you're like this, not everyone's like that, and I've seen it in many communities where people kind of shame others for selling, and I don't know, like, because if let's say I am part of let's say like chimpers, let's say I get a chimper, let's say let's say I'm not even gifted, let's say I buy one. I was like, hey guys, how's it going? I just bought a chimper, who can tell me about it? Who's got one closely related? How can we bond? And then let's say, and again, I don't know chimpers. I don't know the community, I don't know the people who run it, but let's say after like X amount of months or a year, or whatever, something happens, the owners aren't like it anymore. Let's say I am focused on daCat, I'm focused on so much other stuff that, I'm not really part of the community anymore, haven't been there in a while, let me just sell it. If people from that community were to say like, come back when you're ready, we'll always welcome you, we'll always have you, always, do whatever. I'd probably go back at some point. If I get just pounded with just like, oh, paper hands Randy, oh yeah, little bitch seller, right? And it's like, okay, well now I'm definitely not fucking coming back. I'm just saying, like, I don't think we should try to shame people for selling, because, and not that O'Malley's going anywhere. I mean, this is his, I don't want to say bread and butter. I don't know what he does for work. I don't know what he does for life. We could all make guesses and assumptions. I don't want to do that. But I mean, a lot of his, at least Twitter presence, has to do with VeVe and shows on X. So I don't think he's going anywhere. But let's say he was on the fence and suddenly he gets hit with a bunch of negativity, like that's probably going to drive him further away. And I don't think we should do that. Again, this is all just my opinion. I don't know. And why did he sell? Like, isn't the VeVe gold and silver logo a good investment? Yes, it is, in my opinion. But that's not the only way to invest. You might have to wait again, because with this NFT, market, it might take a long time before it kicks back up again. I see a bunch of signs that it is starting to kick back up again, but it might not really get its foot on the gas and hit full stride for several months. We don't know. And maybe O'Malley sees something. Maybe he got a piece of alpha somewhere. It's like, hey, bro, I know this token has an announcement coming out. Get yourself in there. And he's just maybe doing it for a quick flip. Doing it for a quick flip and come back. Or again, you know, maybe something happened in real life, and he's just like, hey, listen, something just came up. It's not even for me. It's a family member. I need that money for something. Again, it's his. That being said, clearly still demand for the logo out there because it did sell for $3,400. So again, speaking of that, we had another Spider-Man sell for about 3K or about 25 million OMI. You'll notice that your vaults have probably gone up. Well, we were at 00125, back down 0001198, just below that. So disregard what I was about to say. Anyway, let me go to Ang and the sellout here. Ugh. Oh, my back. Oh, my other back. Ugh. Okay. All right, we're good. So the floor on the Ang, the common, right now is 1892. 159,000 OMI. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of them under $20. So yeah, there's a bit. These are always going to be around. Like there's always going to be supply of these, like for you to buy them. The secret rare, yeah, you might have a couple of times in the future where the people that want them have them, and true fans come in and like, yeah, you know what? The secret rare might be a thing where sometimes they're just not available. But with 1,955 of Ang's commons, they're always going to be available. Like there's so like, don't worry. Like it's not like one of those things where like, oh man, I have the money now, but now I just, you know, can't get, like, they'll always be out there. Sometimes again, the floor will fluctuate. You can see these probably going, like they'll definitely go above retail at some point. They're about 2x away from there. The top hodlers, Vicente has 104 now. Gold Quest has 103. Legends. Ferryman has, was I say 78? Jeez, Ferryman. Give some for the rest of us. Me, Chavi Cat has 76, and Saloni has 72. So the top 5 people have 22% of the supply. And I know a couple of others that have around 40 to 50. So yeah, these are, I like this. I do think that at the end of the day, Ang will be in the spotlight at least 4 more times. I believe ETH at least, if not NFTs in general, crypto market at large will probably be up. And I'm not saying a full-on alt season, but I think it'll be maybe a bit of a slow burn, but I think it'll be in a much better position in November than it is right now. Just my opinion. What do we got here? Let's go to some comments. J289 says, DeLoreans to the moon. We love the DeLoreans. Bill Gardner. 39 saying, let's go. Second, Bill Gardner, are you back from vacation? Are you back from your trip? That is a vacation. Let me know. Who's that? Real Pandy Chavez. Let's go. Let's get this bread. Love this game. Did you know in the Bible it prophesies the Iran war? The Bible says the future Persia will face one of the most powerful nations that is blessed with the sword. I did not know that. Although I did see a TikTok the other day, and it was about dinosaurs. And first off, I'm like, yo, dinosaurs, let's go. And then talking about dinosaurs in the Bible, I was like, I feel like I would have heard if the Bible had mentioned dinosaurs. And they did in a roundabout way, but the word dinosaur wasn't invented when the Bible was written. So they made a couple of big things, the way they describe certain things. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, they could have been talking about dinosaurs like that. Maybe Brontosaurus over here, maybe like a giant snake over here. Like, you know, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I heck with that. That's dope. There are a couple of biologists, no, whatever scientists that they're like, hey, I feel like there might still be something in like the Amazon or whatever. Like there's still a lot of undiscovered stuff there. But they are like that dragons. I'm not saying like fire-breathing dragons or anything, but yeah, there were some very convincing arguments. It's like, well, you don't really find a ton of bones from, you know, because like bones in general, like it's in general, it's hard for things to fossilize. But then also a lot of, you know, bird bones are just hollow. Like a lot of these things, like they just don't, they don't fossilize. It's like, okay, that's interesting. I understand what you're saying. And yeah, when you think of like giant winged beasts, I mean, I think dinosaurs, but back in the day when there was no such thing as the word dinosaur, and you're describing dragons, I was like, that could be cool too. And let's face it, there's some things that like we know are for real, and they're just. I mean, if you imagine being like George Washington, and just like fighting all these, you know, British and this war, and like maybe he saw like a bear, right? Maybe he's probably seen bears, and it's like that thing is freaking huge. But could you imagine like if somebody told him like, yeah, there was these creatures that were like 8 stories tall, and like he'd be like, that's a myth, fairy tale, legend thing to get the kids to go to bed at night. I wouldn't have believed it either. But yeah, dinosaurs. I can wow, Bible references. Apparently, I don't know. VeVe Zombie says, yo, in 1931, Persia changed its name to Iran. Blessed with the sword means blessed with weapons, aka US superpower nations backed by missiles. We do carry a mighty big stick. Now, again, I feel like at least for this type of thing, didn't Nostradamus make like an insane amount of predictions? And yeah, a few of them came true, but you know, sometimes they're interpreted a little bit of a weird way, and I don't know. I mean, there was something about like he predicted 9/11 where it said like 2 buildings will be crashed with birds. And it's like, okay, well, if you change this word to buildings and bird to plane, okay, 2 planes to 2 buildings. And I mean, some things are a stretch. Some things I assume he did predict right, but again, it's like, you know, Peter Schiff, 1 out of every 1,000 things he says comes true, and when that happens, it's cool, you know. But yeah. I don't know if, I mean, maybe it did predict it like 100. Maybe the person had a vision, you know, 2,000 years later, 3,000 years later. I don't know. Intercontinental ballistic missiles is what they mean by blessed with the sword in the Bible. It could be. Could be. Germany also. Yeah, I love Germany. I one for the, everyone's naked over there. It's great. Oh my God, the strudel. I love strudel. I love German beer. I love, oh God, Germany. So, what was it called? Don kebab? Kebab don? Doner kebab? Doner kebab. When you out at drunk AF from a club at like 3 in the morning, and a 24-hour doner kebab, and you just see this big slab of meat, and they have this like little mini lightsaber. They, my God, does that hit the spot? Oh my God, does that hit the spot? I love Germany. I love a lot of my European friendos. Yeah, Germany's great. And also, they're pretty cool nudity over there. So I like that too. The gold and silver logos utility only matters if you're in the community. If you're just a random person by VeVe NFTs, I feel like you wouldn't care about the VeVe logo when you could just buy Darth Vader or IP you love. That's a good point. That's a good point. Some people, there's like, yeah, you know, they have enough money, they have enough whatever, they could buy whatever they want, and they do. They want to buy, you know, they'd rather have Vaders or Spider-Man or Superman, all that jazz. So what I like to do is, because we've had Stacker, you know, all these on Stacker for a while now. What's the one that have sold the most? What's the ones that generate the most money? Well, Partner Statue is number 1. 146,000 in volume since Stacker's inception. Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane's number 2. 113,000. A VeVe code logo coming in at number 3 with over 100,000 in volume. Spider-Man Secret Rare, number 4, over 81,000 in volume there. And this doesn't include sales on VeVe. This is just on Stacker. Yakomi logo, 67,000. I think that was fairly recent. Most of that was recently. Superman coming in at number 6. I always see him in the top 10, even on the 30-day chart. 58,000. And then a super recent one, Michelangelo, 33,000. And he's very, very recent. He's actually ahead of Eddie Riso. Eddie Riso Batman, 32,000. Speaking of Michelangelo, we got Raphael coming, I think next week. They announced Raphael. Grogu, Mr. Secret Rare Grogu in Pram, 26,000. And then Spider-Man, Secret Rare Miles Morales, 25,000. So those are like the top sellers, or how much volume they have of all time. Now, there's no way to like correct this to say like how many units sold, because like in this one, Superman is the most amount of units sold, but I assume there are a bunch of like common and uncommon comics that, you know, they're so cheap, they have like thousands of them sold back and forth, but it's just, you know, they don't generate any money because they're too low. So 25,000. I would like to see Avatar on here one day. It's 16,000 right now, so probably not. Not, at least not for a while. But I would say, again, by the end of the year, I would say Aang, who's consistently been in the top 10 on the 30-day and the one-day chart. I think by the end of the year, because he'll be there in the spotlight a couple more times, he might get there. Who knows? We'll see. We'll go in the house. Heather Hay says, it would be great if we can get Foster on the channel to get clarity on the merger or OMI investor stand in that. Thoughts? Okay. Let's first off, the stock market lost an insane amount, like $2 trillion this week, I think. The war in Iran has not been good for this either. Last update we got was 3.5 weeks ago. You know, after hours we're down 6% on ORKT, back under $1. I am not convinced. Like I would say the odds of this merger deal going through looks like it's a coin flip, because first off, Wall Street in general moves at a snail's pace. Like it moves slow as molasses in general. When mergers happen and buyouts happen, it takes months. It takes, okay, you need to have tax returns for the last 3 years, profit and loss, and balance sheets, and all of the paperwork. Like they want it's like going through a security clearance. It's insane. Security clearances. That is good. Okay, hold on. I gotta add this to my notes here. So it's 170 calories. Okay, 30 grams. But I also had a piece of bread. I was on the phone with Emoji, so 240 calories. So it was 70 for that, and then 2, so 32. Okay, so what did I have here? Was 90 and 68, 158, 188, 188 grams of protein, plus 1590 calories. Might have like another piece. Yeah, so I'm really, really low on the calories here. Thank you, VeVe, for reposting. I love you. You're the best. But okay, yeah. So if you were to tell me, if you were to ask me the odds that I thought this was happening, now they didn't have to tell us when they told us back in February, but when they did, they had a tentative date of February 28th. Well, that came and went. About a week after that, we get an update saying like, hey, both sides are still committed. We're still getting this bread, but we just need a little bit more time. Now we don't know the reason for that, but now it's been 3.5 weeks since that update. Again, a lot of times you have the, and gun to my head, whose fault do you think this is? Like, I don't want to say fault, like, who do you think's slowing this down? In my opinion, it might be something that VeVe found that they didn't like, because ORKT has every incentive to try to get themselves sold, because they're going to get delisted. They part of the reason like their stock price is what it is right now is because of the attention that it got from the VeVe fam, and a bunch of them, despite me saying I'm going to hold off, they're still buying shares. I don't think it would happen the other way. Like, I don't think it was ORKT side saying, you know what, we're having second thoughts because of X, Y, and Z. I would think it would be from the VeVe side. Again, that since you're asking, Foster also would not be able to speak on any of that. I don't even know if he's in the purview of like what's going on. I probably not. Even if he did know and I were to ask, there's no way he could answer. We'll try to get Foster on for the episode 100 of the OMI is my homie. That's in a couple weeks. I would like a announcement, but I don't know if that would. We'll see. Anyway, I mean, I'm always down to have Foster on. I don't. Even if he knew something, there's no way he could say anything. But that, again, that's my opinion. I'd call it a coin flip right now. Now, it's very possible that nothing's wrong and they just, again, that's what we got 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago. Well, we need more time. And that could mean a couple months because, again, they want every tax, they want everything. Like when these deals go through, there is no stone left unturned. Hey, what's this withdrawal amount? Where did this money go? Why did it, So again, that's par for the course. I'm saying the Bible has dragons, not dinos. Could be both. I think it's both. Eccles is the Book of Enoch. Yes, please about dinosaurs. Yes, that's the one I saw. That's the one I saw. They talked about the Book of Enoch. Talked about explains dinosaurs before the flood. And honestly, so I forget what the period was called, but when I was younger, I was always a very skeptical person. Maybe I was just lied to in a previous life. Maybe I was like a cop in a previous life, right? But when I heard the story of like, rain for 40 days, 40 nights, like really, did it? Probably not. But apparently there is a period of time, I'm going to Google it. There was a period of time where it rained for 1 million years straight. I will say that again once I figure out the name. Period of time where the earth rained for 1 million years. The Carnian Pluvial episode, or CPE, was a pivotal climactic event occurring approximately 232 to 234 million years ago during the late Triassic period, characterized by roughly 1 to 2 million years of intense intermittent rainfall, triggered by massive volcanic eruptions in the Rangelia Large Igneous Province. It caused global warming and revolutionized terrestrial and marine ecosystems, enabling the rise of the dinosaurs. So clearly the Earth has done, again, 40 days is nothing. And honestly, if you live in like the rainforest, I feel like Vietnam, yeah, so raining for 1 million years in a row, like 1 million years, that is insane. And honestly, I don't, nothing surprises me. The Earth is a very old and weird place, and we're traveling through space at how many billions of miles an hour, like in our solar, like it's old, it's weird, and honestly, this is why Like I get it. Like, is it a good idea for humans to take carbon out of the ground and put it into the atmosphere? No, that's probably not good for the environment. Um, are we causing the next ice age with global warming? Probably not. Like, are we helping? No, but haven't we had like 10 ice ages before humans were even around? So I'm pretty sure this is just what the Earth does sometimes because it's weird. Um, yeah, I honestly, I don't know what to believe. Earth is weird. We could be in a simulation. 13, thou didst divide by the sea by thy strength. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters. Yes, I agree with that. But also, excuse me, Book of Enoch explains dinosaurs before flood. I like dinosaurs, yo. But they say dragons content in certain nations in the Bible because sometimes the Bible references certain people as serpents. Mm. This verse, dragons, means evil people with great power, not dragon. I still believe in. I'm not going to disagree with you there because I mean, you clearly know more than me about the Bible. But I also feel like there's probably a reason why Japan has the dragon as an animal in the Chinese zodiac, because I mean, there's horses, which is what I am. There's pigs. There's dogs. There's oxes. Like you know the story. Why would they put dragons there if they weren't real? Now I get it. The story is well traveled and it's about God, and he told all the animals that there would be a banquet the next day and to prepare themselves, and then the mischievous rat told the cat that the banquet would be the day after tomorrow. So while the 12 animals of the zodiac were enjoying a feast, the cat was napping and dreaming of a feast that would never come, and that's why the cat's not included in the zodiac. So again, yeah, weird fairy tale story, but in that they included the dragon, and I don't see why they wouldn't. And that's the other thing with pandas. Like, isn't like Asia known for pandas? And Japan decides, you know what, we're not going to put the panda. Apparently, pandas weren't discovered until like 1840 fucking 5. How do these things that do not blend in with their environment not get discovered until like the late 1800s? Anyway, they don't use the pandas. They use dragons in there. They could have chosen any animal to represent the 12 animals of Chinese zodiac, but they chose dragons. So, not saying that you're wrong there. Probably right there, where in that verse, dragons mean evil people with great power. But I will go on the record and say that I believe that dragons were an actual thing in the past. I don't think they were fire breathing. I would like to, but I think that would be really cool. But sorry. Psalm 73:13 about the verse of the dragon. Copy. But I mean, hold on. If I put in, is the book of Enoch real? I feel like I'm going to get well, it's a real ancient Jewish apocalyptic work, 300 BC to 1st century AD. It is not considered part of the mainstream biblical canon. While influential, it is viewed as pseudepigrapha, falsely attributed to Enoch, and is only regarded as canonical scripture by the Ethiopian and Eritrean Orthodox churches. Is that for most of it or all of it? It's a genuine ancient text found among the Dead Sea Scrolls, but it was written by multiple authors hundreds of years after Enoch lived, not by Enoch himself. So again, those stories are probably well traveled. The book details the fall of angels, watchers, who mated with humans, creating the Nephilim. They go over this in Supernatural, along with Enoch's journey through heaven, cosmological revelations, and prophecies of judgment. Okay, follow me on this. What if, I get this is a big if, but what if, when they're talking about the fall of angels who mated with humans, what if they were actually humans just from another time? What if they were time travelers? What if they were people that were created their own avatars to come into the simulation and say, you know what, let's have some fun. This beat is sick. Want to have these homegirls take a ride on this disco stick. I don't know. I mean, if we're going to be talking about all of that stuff, we might as well throw in the simulation. And also, I feel like this is getting way off course here. But we're gonna keep on going. This is the question I have. When we get the new users, will they think the grails that the VeVe OGs deem as grails as true grails as well? That is a great question. I did a lot of cardio today, so I am a little dehydrated. I got a call before from a buddy of mine that graduated from officer training school in the military. I served with him back in the day, so this dude is old, right? This dude's older than me. He's like 37. And he's like, hey, Chavez, like, what's up? Like, graduate OTS. I was like, girl, no, you didn't. And it's like, yeah, I did. So we're talking. I'm laying on the couch. And I just straight up fell asleep. I was like, hurr, hurr. Anyway, OG Grail. All right. Are the newer people going to view the OG grails as actual grails? For some of them. I still think Riso, if we're going with OG grails, like OG, how about we do BD, before Disney? Yeah, we'll do before Disney. Oh, well, let's do before Marvel, right? Todd, Riso, Donnie. Honestly, half of that Powerpuff Girl stuff is so, like, his Infernal Majesty, Bubbles, Professor Utonium. Actually, Professor Utonium sold yesterday. Actually, Bubbles sold yesterday too. So again, I feel like a lot of the OGs are coming back. And here's where we are with the. Where are we? Meow, meow, meow. In case you didn't see the thumbnail, there was 718 people that had made their first purchase this week on VeVe. 718 people. Why do you suppose that is? And again, you have a lot of OG grails that have been selling. Now, Todd's and Riso's, par for the course, those continuously sell. That's nothing new. A couple Donnies, though. Like a couple. Then you have the Spider-Man number 1000. Then you have, like, I saw a Chun-Li sell for like $200 the other day. I was like, ain't the floor like, you know, like 60 or something? But it was the number 100. So it's a lot of these special mints that are going out. Now, I don't know if those are specific OGs, but again, Donnie, you're not buying Donnie unless you're an OG. But yeah, so you have the Todds, the Risos, the Donnies, that whole Powerpuff Girl set. And then, like, remember the Ghostbusters logo, the gold and the platinum logo? That shit was, like, I never had those because I couldn't afford those. OG. And also Ghostbusters. Like, I really like timepieces. Like Stranger Things. Yeah, it was made in the 2010s and not 2020s, but took place in the 80s. Ghostbusters is like everywhere. Dan Aykroyd, one of the biggest star in the 80s. John Belushi was actually supposed to have a role in that. I think Dan Aykroyd was actually like writing like his part when he got the call that he died. But yeah, Dan Aykroyd, one of the biggest, like Bill Murray, like a bunch of amazing actors, like again at the time, that were going in and making this, like, every nerd loves it. I didn't live through the 80s. I've dated a lot of girls who have. Apparently it took over everything. So yeah, Ghostbusters, and especially for the ages of the people that's in VeVe, yeah, they'll probably still get them, because as scarce as they were, they're scarcer now because some are locked up in accounts that you're just, you know, some are just locked up in accounts that you can't get them because they were like botted or they left. And so, yeah, they're hard.
Will any of the newer people try to get those? Probably not. Most of them won't, but some of them might. Like some of them might be like, you know what? Yeah, like I know a couple people in Pokemon that didn't play the first generation. The way that they played the first generation Pokemon was Gen 3. They didn't play Red and Blue. They didn't play Yellow. They played Fire Red and Leaf Green. And they were just like, yeah, like, I'm using Charmander. I was like, good luck with Brock. In those games, you beat Brock with Charmander by using Metal Claw. And I was like, bro, like back in the day, you had to leer and burn your way to victory with that. Over leveling, maybe get a Butterfree. You couldn't beat Brock at like a normal like Bulbasaur and Squirtle. Like Squirtle, you'd be like whenever you learn Bubble, Bulbasaur fine with like level 10, like very easy. Pikachu, you had to did he know Growl or Leer? Agility. You had to like growl and quick attack your like it was very, very hard. Unless you got a Mankey or a Butterfree. Anyway, there are a couple of people that I know that didn't necessarily grow up with the beginning of Pokemon. They grew up a few generations afterwards. But they still go back and collect the cards from the original like OGs like myself. And yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Now, does everyone do that? No, they don't. They collect like Neo Destiny, Neo Genesis. There's Neo Destiny, and then they collect the E series card. Actually, they don't even collect that. They collect after first edition, after WotC. Most of them start with like the gold stars, and beyond. Because again, the first editions ended with Gen 2 at Neo Destiny. And just when the younger people that are now older that getting back into the cards, most of them kind of just get those. And sometimes they get like the first editions and stuff, which is great, but not all of them. So again, wonky comparison, a lot of margin of error here, but I'm gonna say 95% of people that come in that's newer, never gotten a VeVe before, the Venn diagram of grails that they'll share will be, and again, we're going before Marvel, will probably be Todd Riso, because Riso is like the first error, because it says first edition on it, and that's specifically safe for art stuff. So it says first edition, and it shouldn't. Todd, because it's legendary, just first Batman on the blockchain, first collectible on VeVe. But dope. And then Riso, because it's part of that set, it's the scarcest in that set, most rare in that set, and it generally is a bit more expensive. He's badass. Like Todd is like classic, but Riso's like daddy will fuck you up. Like Riso's a beast, right? Like at least like Riso looks like he can fight. Like Riso look like Todd Batman looks like Michael Keaton. Looks cool. He looks good. But let's face it. Anybody that's been gymming for a while that knows some form of martial arts probably take Keaton, especially now, but in his prime, they could take Keaton. But Eddie Riso be looking like Ben Affleck. He'd be looking like 6'4". He'd be looking like 240, lean. If you're 170 pounds, you're not taking him. Like I don't care what you do. Like you're gonna get got. And then if we go during Marvel, obviously Spider-Man. Go during Disney, obviously Partner Statue. Also the newer people, depending on their age, like I hate to admit it, Elsa is like 13 years old right now. Like Elsa is. Remember when Elsa was like brand new, taking over the world? Like it's gotten old. Elsa's gotten old enough. Frozen's gotten old enough because it released in 2013 that it's like nostalgic now for them, because it's like, oh, I watched that growing up and now I'm an adult, like now granted, in the military we like that song too, Guys, for convoys in the military, we're not like out there like moshing like Drowning Pool or Corn. Like we're listening to Cascada and Skater Boy, and like I should ask any veteran out there what they were bopping to on a convoy, and it wasn't this like hardcore like screamo music about death. Like that, like there was no God, what's the name of that band? With they take historic events and they make songs out of them. It's of glory again. Oh God, what the heck's the name of that? Across a secret avenue. Secret 42, The Last Stand, but Sabaton. All right, so we're not listening to like this badass stuff. Like we're listening to Every Time We Touch. We're listening to Call Me Maybe. We're listening to Skater Boy, Miracle, like Bad Boy, like Lady Gaga. I swear, I'm a Deadpool waffle maker. That is what the military was listening to, at least while I was in. And yeah, Frozen, Let It Go. You had people that were, let's say, like 10 years old when Frozen came out, and now they're adults in the military. And yeah, they're probably listening to that. They're probably listening to all that stuff. DC. A few. What's up? What is up? Sorry guys. Messages I hadn't checked in a little bit. Okay. As true grails, because what if new people come in? Like, yeah. New people probably won't care about Donnie. I don't even care about that. I mean, he's again OG, legendary. As long as there are people here that remember what was, there are always going to be people that are going to be unable to let new people come in and not know who he was and not know why he's important. We will continue the education. Oh God. On this guy, name, photo. Okay. Where were we? I feel like in 7 years, we'll be like, hey, remember when Donnie was a thing? Yeah, he'll always be a thing, bro. Remember when this and that was a thing, just because OGs dictate what grails and what's not? Well, yeah, the OGs are right now a lot of the ones with the heavier bags, a lot of cashola in their pocket. So yeah, they kind of dictate. But at some point, the OGs might be, well, they'll be outnumbered, but that's not what will dictate that. What will oust the OGs from determining what grail is, when not just when new people come in, but when new people come in and they have bigger bags and they have more money and they're just like, yeah, I'm going to spend 30 grand on Miles Morales, or I'm going to spend 100K. I'm going to sweep the Miles Morales floor. Somebody comes in with another 100K. They sweep this Peter Parker Spider-Man floor. Is like, this is ridiculous. This should be 100 grand. And they come in, and even if it's not, even if it shouldn't be that, they'll think it is, and then they'll buy it, and then yeah, it might go that far. Rich people have rich friends, and a lot of times they go in on stuff together. And I've known some very smart people that buy the top. There will be a bunch of rich people that come in next time after everyone stacked everything, and they will buy the top. And that is the exit. And there'll be some people as well that will sell their houses, take out equity lines of credit on their houses to buy these collectibles at the top. And happens every single cycle. But yeah, Donnie's, I think, will always be a grail, because as long as the people that, as long as the OGs don't leave, and even if they can convert half of 1% of the new people that come in, I'm expecting there to be thousands, to be like, yeah, get a Donnie, that'll probably happen. Like it'll probably continue its grail legacy. Being canon was a big argument. Whether it should be canon or not, I don't know. But Jude felt it was real enough to quote. So if they're New Testament quotes, I just wouldn't throw it away. Fair point. Fair point. Like, to me, Aang is a grail. But yes, well, because Aang is a part of our childhood. Aang is a part of our. Thank you, VeVe, saying we love you. We love you more, Randy. Oh, thanks, guys. Y'all the best. Around, never gonna hear me now. Whatever person, but I'll see what I can. Give it 1 second. I have to paste this. My name's Jeff. Okay, I'm sorry. My friend needs me. And oh God, he's a nerd. Sorry, I got Jay. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Oh, Jesus. I need to do a fairly harmless. All right. Sorry, I'll get back to that later. Yeah, Aang was a big part of our life. That is easily, arguably, one of the best things that VeVe has put, or that Nickelodeon has put out, was Avatar. It's so good. I watched an episode yesterday. It still holds up. Like, it's still good. It's still fun. Oh, hell no. Yeah, I sense a lot of red flags and holes in the story. Wait on someone he knows have a rental house. No way. As yeah. Okay. Book of Enoch, never originally in the Bible. And Book of Enoch. I wouldn't say fan fiction. I mean, it was written by people that lived a couple hundred years after him. But it doesn't necessarily mean it was fan fiction. Earth rained for a million years. Was it crazy that it rained 40? Yeah, no, that's the point that I was bringing up. If it, yeah, like after that, I was like, okay, yeah, Earth totally could have rained for that long, because again, if it rained for a million years straight, which is nuts, no reason why it wouldn't. Giants used to call dragons. Yeah, that would be my guess. I mean, again, we had dinosaurs, so clearly there's beings can get that big. Right, in your opinion, what does a victory look like for us in Iran? I mean, we bombed the heck out of a lot of their personnel already. Oh, victory can be in 2 different ways. One victory, which unfortunately is the most probable, would be like, okay, we're gonna agree to these rules, but we're gonna have set up a base here. We're gonna have you know, a bunch of people from the US always stationed there to ensure compliance. And maybe it'll be a joint coalition from people in the UN and be like, yeah, all these people here, make sure nothing bad happens, preach compliance. And that's not going to go over well. But that'll, one way that could be considered by many a victory. Yeah, Iran agrees to all these things, but then people get stationed there. For me, it's probably unrealistic, but it'd be like, okay, Iran agrees to no nuclear stuff ever. They have maybe some UN people go in. Of course, they'll be funded by the US, but no troops on the ground, no bases set up there, either permanent or impermanent. And I don't know, maybe we have a Iranian paperclip situation where we take some of their top scientists and we bring them here and they work on stuff for us. I would rather Iranian scientists, because they are brilliant, I would rather them come to the US, continue their work for the US. I would essentially be like a draft. I would like an NFL draft. Take the top of their, so I would like bring them here, bring value to the US if they want to. Yeah, so that would be my ideal place. That no troops on the ground, no more death, fighting's over. We get control of the Strait of Hormuz, or at least partial control over there. No nukes. But I just, that's a lot to ask. Probably going to be something like the former, like the first of what I had mentioned. I guess that's technically a victory. I just don't want that. I know where that leads. Eventually, if the former does happen, you'd have people like me go into their command every week, got in deployments, got an ex-wife. If you need that money, let me deploy. Oh yeah, send take Wells and Schickman. They'll go together. They just got back from deployment. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like, I just got back. Doesn't matter. You're going again. Yeah. But in the Bible, when it talks about dragons, doesn't mean real lizards referring to people. I'm sure, but that doesn't mean that dragons weren't real. There are Eastern Bibles where the Book of Enoch is canon. You just have to ask why Jude quoted a verse from the Book of Enoch, Jude 1:14-15. Of Enoch was written in biblical time, just not people appointed by God and Christ to actually write the Bible. It's like if I decided to write my own U.S. laws, people would be like, dude, a little bit different, but I understand. Can discuss Bible all night. I just love learning. Also, I just really like dinosaurs. Same, Echo. This is Bible class. When did this comment? Oh, yeah, I guess it was for a little bit. What's up, Khaki Gaijin? How's it going? We're talking about dinosaurs and how I think the Bible has referenced them and dragons. Boo just started a show called Collectors and the Scriptures. Oh, I would tune into that show so hard. No lie, I'd be down. That's so good. Somebody, we got to do this. I should read. Not Enoch though. Why not? Special guest, Enoch. We'll have no, Jubilees or Jasher. It's just this is where it gets wild. Booth's not read those. Some verses I use for investing. Ecclesiastes 10:19, 19a. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. So money answers your problem. And the money, the root of all evil. But yeah, money does help a lot. Ecclesiastes 7:12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. I have to read that again. Wisdom is defense, and money is defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Okay, yeah. Use money as your defense, not brag or boast. Good point. Good evening, Chavi Cat. As a fellow vet, 90s, early 2000s rap, white girl, dance music, and bodies are what dominated convoys. Really? You listen to Drowning Pool in your convoys. Okay. We did not. White girl dance music, definitely. Like, we never listen. I mean, in my generation. We never listened to Spice Girls, but if we were alive in the 90s, we would have. We would have. I can't remember a single badass song that like we like listened to it. Like the closest we got was I was with these two guys, Zervin and Rom, and we were listening to and Wolfgang, and we were listening to Two Steps from Hell. Was Miller with us? I think she was Laher at that point. No lyrics. Wait, that's Rocky. No, hold on. But it sounds the same. All right, listen to Rocky 4 soundtrack when he's in the snow. And it's very much the same as Two Steps from Hell. Is this Strength of a Thousand Men? No. Dragon Rider. They sound exactly the same. I can't play it here, but in Rocky 4 training montage when he's in the snow and Two Steps from Hell, Dragon Rider, they sound the same. Anyway, it wasn't that one. It was what Strength of a Thousand Men, where they go no, it's, can I play it? I feel like I can't, but I swear it was oh shoot, sorry. It's their business with each other. Where the heck? Okay. Oh, it has like a all right, so this one is the one I was talking about where we listened to that. Not it, yeah, in the convoy. Anyway. I would have liked to listen to Bodies by Drowning Pool because that's my jam, but in the 2010s we did not. Yeah. My favorite book. That's where my name is from. Eckel. Oh, I thought that. 1 Timothy 6:10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Well, I use money for good, so yeah. But money kills your faith and brings sorrow. You're using it wrong. Fair. Like that name, Eckel. Nice. Zombie, give me 100. Every okay. Siraj in the Book of Siraj. I have not, but you were asking Eckel. Good evening, Omar. How's it going? Okay, we got to get back to some of the stuff here that I was talking about. Gotcha. Best you can do is color. You think it's sketch. The things, definitely raises flags for me too. Okay. It's in the news where there was an unlawful missile strike. Oh, elementary school where Iran officer's daughter attended. No, that is horrible. Oh, that's really horrible. Schools should not be targeted. Schools, like, I don't know who did that. Whoever did that, shame on them. You can't even wish that the same would happen because like kids are just innocent. You don't want that. That's horrible. Iran military officers and stuff. Trump and killed the officer's daughter. Were they strikes from the U.S.? Were they strikes from Israel? Were they strikes from any of the other several nations that are bombing them? I don't know if we could blame that on the U.S. right now. Yeah, I'd have to learn more about it. U.S. needs to stop aiding the proxy war and let be what has been caused by a blackmailing nation. That gets hard. Now, Incorrigible Goat Slayer, you'll know this better than I would. Since the 90s, like mid to late 90s, for me, I've been hearing, Iran's close to a nuclear war. They're close to having nukes. I've been hearing that for no joke 30 years. I imagine you've heard it for even longer. Were they actually getting close? Well, their scientists are really good, and maybe after all of these years of government cry wolf, we need to go to war with Iran. Maybe they actually were getting close, especially with AI now. I'm sure they were probably getting close. Or it's just business as usual. Nope. Yeah, we're using this to go into Iran. I don't know. Again, I'm not privy to any of those conversations anymore. I mean, they could also be operating off bad intel. Like you could have corrupt intelligence officers. You could have people like, yeah, just put this in your report, and $250,000 will appear in an offshore account or in crypto and cold wallet for it. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of shady stuff that happens, and this is why you need to have people that have no debt. You need to have people that have like no family. You need to have people like. This is why Washington needs to get paid more as well, because they don't get paid enough to not be corrupted. Like a lot of positions, like they just you start paying the people more, or else the other side will just be like, hey, bunch of money, say this, do this, work for us. Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, I don't want war with anyone, because again, we've already had, I think, 7 US military die as a result of this. It's not good. That is not. I mean, what happened to Trump in 2016, 2020 didn't start any new wars, made a bunch of peace deals. This is a different Trump. Now, granted, people he's taken out, leader of Venezuela, yeah, bad person. He should have been like the world. That part of the world is much better off with him gone. Iran, the people were to take over. Yeah. I mean, we did this in 1953. Took out Iranian president, put in a pro-American one. How did that go? I mean, Iran. Look at Iran before. Look at Iran in like the 60s, 70s. Like women could actually wear clothes. They could actually wear bathing suits. They could actually, what. I think women should have the option to show a little ankle if they want to. Yeah. But am I saying that? I don't know. I think women having opportunities and being freer, let's say in like the West, as opposed to the rules they had to follow in Iran. Yeah, I think they're probably better off with having some Western influence. But that is me being a bit biased, but really hard to argue that. Did the US need to do this? I mean, I don't know if any other military could do it in the way that the US is doing it. I hate the line like, well, as long as it's over there and it's not over here. Because yes, a lot of bad people are getting taken out, but again, when you have like an elementary school that's gotten and kids die like that's not like that is they're still kids, and if you apply the greater good theory okay, let's say 50 innocent people died, but you know, there was these 100 super horrible bad people that died that would have killed a lot more than the 50 that innocents that were killed over here. So in the end, it's actually a net positive. Sure, but that's still a hard pill to swallow. And just because it's a hard pill doesn't mean that we shouldn't swallow it like that. But it just sucks. I'm thankful I don't have to make any of these decisions. I don't think anyone would want to try to make these decisions. It's like those people that are in, let's say, like FBI special or like NSA or whatever, and it's like, hey, these files, these images, these download PDF files were had images of like child porn, right? And like, okay, it's like you have to go through each one and to count how many times it is, and it's like apparently those guys have like very high suicide rates. They have very high like turnover rates because it's like you can only look at that for so long without apparently wanting to off yourself. But that's a job that somebody has to do, and it's the same thing with these scenarios. It's like, yeah, a lot of these innocent people will die when we do this, but because of that, that could essentially save hundreds of thousands or millions of people. And it's like, and I get it, the math is mathing, but that is, oof, that's hard. Again, I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions. Where were we? Yeah. Kaidence says, you don't want to know my opinion on this war. I'm sure I can guess. Kaidence, I love you, man. I love you so much. I feel like we like, again, you're among some veterans here. So we yeah, say it. You're among friends here. You're among veterans that we don't get offended. Cardinal goes enlistment is age 42. Little Asian wants art. U.S. people badly. Would you go back? Would you go back in? I tried to go back in 2018. Got denied for a couple of reasons. Although I got denied from the Air Force. The Army is just like, we'll get you a waiver for that. And I was like, no, thank you, Army. And then Air Force actually did try to call me back in 2020, but it was after the date that they could have called me back in. So I just didn't. I just didn't go because I was chilling at that time. I had stuff going on and stuff to do. I mean, I wouldn't. I would only do good in a couple of different scenarios. I mean, my body's just broken. It's just not a good thing anymore. But I'd like to try it. I'd like to be like, you know what? I can still do a lot of the work. I'm still not completely useless, but yeah, my body's kind of had it. All the knights and Vikings killed the dragon, so they fled to China and Japan, where they'd be worshipped instead of hunted. I would love that. I wouldn't love them being hunted, but I would love them. I was infantry cat. We live by bodies. Man, I would have loved to have been rocking out to bodies, but I never got the opportunity. I was low ranking, so I didn't get. Although when working dispatch, I did everything. I love dubstep and white girl dance music. That's why my black friends don't pass me the aux. I remember this one guy, McAllister. It's just one day was just like, bro, like, can we get some like hip hop in here? I cannot deal with all this white music. I was like, brother, you know, because minority. And then he's like, no, you're white. I was like, My last name's Chavez. He's like, you listen to Michelle Branch and Vanessa Carlton. You're white. And I was like, fair point. So, pass me the aux means they don't let me play music. Yeah, I know what that means. Hey, Boo says, tell him in the words of B-Rad from Boo, don't be hating. Dayman, champion of the sun. Hey, Randy, hiking a mountain. The last time I hiked a mountain was in 2019 in Germany. I started with a bunch of my military friends, and I wanted to work out. So I was a little out of shape at the time, running up this mountain, and I'm just like getting short of breath. I was like, oh, no, it's just my body being a bitch. And then I'm on all fours, and I'm like running up this mountain like a bear, and I was like, oh. Apparently what was happening is that I was not used to the altitude, and me thinking that I was out of shape, even though I was actually me getting hypoxia. And I was delirious. Like I was like that Victoria Justice song. I feel delirious. Come, let's get out of here. I was making Snapchats and quoting like Avengers Endgame, and I was just like, part of the journey is the end. It's so stupid. But yeah, that was my the last time. Oh no, the last time I hiked a mountain was freaking Turtle Golf. We have Whale Week in like Maine or something, and someone's there for a little bit, and then Turtle Golf's there, and then another person's there, and then you want to know what happens? I tell Turtle Golf, yeah, you know what? In a half hour, like I'm like Yoda, can move a little bit, do whatever, but in a but I can't really do much for more than like 45 minutes. A half hour I can do a lot, 45 minutes and do whatever. So if we go on a hike, it really can't be more than 45 minutes, like an hour tops. No problem, Randy. This motherfucker takes me on a 4-hour hike. I wanted to kill him. I thought, we're on a mountain. There's bears here. No one will find them. But then I thought, he is a gold logo holder, and he has OMI, and we love him. And anyway, my last 2 times climbing mountains make for great stories, but they hurt me like a lot. Yeah, dude, I watched the news clips of the unlawful strikes. They were a little, oh no, don't tell me that. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, it's really horrible. Booth, I've read Sirach. So if you're reading the Apocrypha, we might have more in common than you think. Freaking love that. Like meow. Maybe if we start looking at what's the same instead of what's different, well, who knows? So Israel claimed around about themselves, side-eye. So the screenshot of the strike and Tomahawk missile landed on children's school. U.S. manufactured those missiles. U.S. also sells those missiles. So I'm not saying that it wasn't the U.S., but I'm saying that they'd probably sold those missiles. And yeah, maybe some of them made their way to Iran, and maybe they did bomb themselves. Is that likely? More likely than you think, but yeah, it's probably the other way around, where they, yeah, that, or it didn't, or it could have been those types of missiles just from Israel or from another country that had our missiles. We're 39 this year. Heard the same thing as you. It's been the talking piece our entire lives. Oh, we're actually really close in age. I'm 35. We know this is about destabilization and a certain family fractional reserve banking system. Not the Rothschilds. They would never. Been doing it for a couple hundred years, so yeah, probably them. They need a central bank in Iran, don't they? Look up unlawful strike on school. I don't even know if I want to. Randy, can you promise to buy a VR headset and stream the VeVe in 5 years and not fall off due to only pumping? Yeah. Let me. I'll put this on my Snapchat so it comes up every year in a memory. Okay, my story. Probably. Fudge. Yeah, it's definitely clickbait. Okay, where were we? It says, I consider Aang a modern grail because his popularity is massive, even though the Magic of Gathering failed to market it. Yeah, VeVe's doing a much better job, and the VeVe fam is doing a much better job at marketing him because, yeah, he's dope. He's I don't know how many people recognize that Aang is Avatar in general is just one of the best properties that, and they keep on making new content. So that's the key, to continue to make more. Continue to make more, and you'll be good. Gold Quest with 105, Vicente with 104, Ferryman 78, Chavi Cat, that's me, with 76, and Saloni with 72. That's a lot. Got a lot over here. 22% with the top 5. Now the secret rare, I don't have any of. The Aang secret rare, we actually had a couple more sell recently. Again, I don't have one. 194 bucks if you can get one. Top holders. Vicente has 8, stand-up chart is 7, or Skillet has 7, Expert has 6, and Mr. Rolex has 5. Wild. Cordial Gold says, when you can take out leadership in a private room with a micro drone, there's no excuse for catastrophic civilian casualties. I've been in Warzone a couple times. There's no excuse now with tech. I agree. What Booth is saying, those are probably U.S. missiles, but did the U.S. fire them? Or were they given to other countries and they fired them? Either way, a school full of children should not have been bombed. That should not have been hit. I will be salty with that forever, because that shouldn't have happened. Just my opinion. Right, Omar. Omar loves Omi, right? Meow, meow, meow. Clowns in my circus left, so no, I don't want to party with new clowns. I know what you mean. Deadpool cable time travel device. I'd be gone in a heartbeat, though. Back to Mosul City Desert 06. Round 2. Let's freaking go. Damn. Well, I was 15 at the time, so I couldn't be there with you. Although 15-year-old me, actually, I have a couple pictures here from me and a friendo were talking recently, and she was wondering what my cute. Hold on, I've got 15-year-old photos. Well, photos of me at 15. 15-year-old photos of me would be me at 20, which I was still hot then. But holy crap, where am I? Oh my god. Well, first let me show you Chavez at prom. Which one is me? That one's me. There's 15-year-old Chavez. Look at that. Look at that awesome hairdo. I do have one more photo of me. Oh. There's 19-year-old Chavez, Mr. AC Slater. Maybe 18-year-old. I don't know. Might be 18. And there's 14-year-old Chavez. Wow, 21 years, right? Good times. Good times. Still had always loved the long hair. Anyway, yeah. I don't know how useful. You'd teach me. 15-year-old Chavez would have been good, but 15-year-old Chavez is probably better than 35-year-old Chavez. Also, in my opinion, putting my life on line for a compromised government isn't my idea of honorable service, solid snake or no snake. Yeah. Yeah. I'm reminded of that Captain America quote where it says, the price of freedom is high. It always has been. But it's the price I'm willing to pay. But in this scenario, are we fighting for our freedoms over there? No. Are we fighting because maybe they can do something bad and we want to prevent that? Yeah. Maybe are we doing this because we're using that as an excuse? Yeah, they could do something bad to us. And yeah, that's true. But are the real reasons because, well, let's say there's probably a reason why they went to Venezuela first. Control the oil over there. I think China gets 25% of its oil from Iran. And want to heck China out of this. I feel like this is just probably to just take control of more oil, have more control of the global economy. And yeah, probably that. I'm telling you, Randy, if you like white music and Pokemon, oh, hell yeah, Pokemon. Look up Yu-Gi-Oh! GX theme song. I feel like I did listen to that when it first came out. No, I like the first one, like the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Theme song. I know you weren't into Yu-Gi-Oh!, but dude, the guitar solo fire. The first Yu-Gi-Oh! Song, Yu-Gi-Oh! I like that. I actually watched the first few seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, not religiously, but I watched it. It was good. Its opinion on Tales of Astonish number 13, Secret Rare, first appearance grew $60. It is a B-tier comic, and it doesn't have, I don't believe it has 30,000 editions. I think it has 20,000 editions. So the, give me one sec here. Tales to Astonish, number 13. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna have to go through comics and cryptos because it's a B-tier comic. All right, so, but what number? Oh, it's number 52. Yeah, 20,000 of these. Let me go on VeVe real quick because I want to see something. Tales to Astonish, number 13. I have, I think, everyone except for the Secret Rare. Because the Ultra Rare was like $6. I was like, are you kidding me? $6 for first appearance. Screw it, was nuts. Yeah, it's on VeVe. The Secret Rare is $55. Okay, so let's see. I don't think I have many of these. Yeah, I got 2 of them. Okay, so to Astonish, number 13. Let's do the Secret Rare first here. Yeah, 55 on VeVe, 62 on there. Oh, that guy Cole Rush, bro, he's got so many comics, it's ridiculous. Tales to Astonish, number 13. What's the common like? Common's $1. Bro, B-tier comic like this shouldn't be $1. $6 is cheap, lots of editions on not a big enough character, and read physical comics, not financial advice. I mean, Groot is cool though. I like him. We've got, yeah, Groot's cool as heck. But yeah, how many people knew him before Guardians of the Galaxy? Probably not many, but also, doesn't matter how you got introduced to him, as long as you do get introduced. Okay, Conjugal Slayer, yeah, that's what people have been saying. Big mint size, but Groot's so dope. Probably why it's so cheap. True. Because I'm not into it, but Aang is definitely a better play, especially since you like the IP. Yeah, bro. And again, Aang is not my favorite Avatar character. He's not even my favorite Avatar. I like Korra better. And Kyoshi. Roku kind of shit the bed there. Roku kind of... Roku is like the Princess Leia of avatars. He, you know, wasn't that good. I guess in the last 4 Avatar, I would put Korra, Kyoshi, Aang, Roku. Although Aang probably should be higher than Kyoshi because a lot more character development. He loves animals. He's cool. And we get to know a lot more of him. But again, like I have him. I'll get Katara. I'll get Sokka. I'll get Appa. I'll get all of them. But Toph, my girl, I'm going hard on Toph. Freaking love her. If I get Aang, it's gotta be secret rare. I don't have any secret rare Aang. Why would Iran bomb their own children? This is a really cynical way of looking at the world, but to build support for the war. Look at what America did. I mean, that's been in the playbook for leaders like for forever. Carry out an attack on your own people, blame it on someone else. Perfect excuse to go to war or get support for the war. I'm not saying that's exactly what they did, but if they did, that's probably the reason why. Lives for living, green bomb, and down to blame because it's unlawful. Both of these can be true, and we just don't know which one it is. And yes, the U.S. sells atomic missiles to other nations, but they're literally at war with Iran right now. And so are other nations are in the bombing campaign as well. So who else is going to bomb Iran other than the U.S.? On Trump thinks we're dumb. Trump probably does think we're dumb. You're right on that. But again, there is other nation. For the bombing campaign, at least for the Strait of Hormuz, I don't know if it's the rest of the country, but it was like Italy, France, Germany. I'm surprised France was in there. Obviously the US and Israel, and then like 1 or 2 others. I think the UAE. I think it was the UAE as well. So it could be any one of them, but again, we don't know. CR is going to be worth a good bit, but if the regular Aang is the one being scooped out with the incoming snapcrafts, it might be worth to get secret rares worth of Aang. To get a secret rare's worth of regular Aang and a secret rare. Yeah. So I mean, Aang's $19 right now, half off what he was in the store. Not bad. Or yeah, true. The craft will make Aang pump. I don't know if it'll be soon, because you have at least 3 more, if not 4 or 5 more times that Aang will be useful. Katara and Sokka with the waterbender, that you'll get waterbender Aang. Toph, get earthbender Aang. Zuko, firebender Aang. Appa, so the group can go up there. And then Avatar Aang, like get him in the Avatar state. So yeah. I just hecked up in the past about common first appearance Spidey instead of Secret Spidey. Look at Secret Rare. Yeah, but when things were pumping, the Secret Rare pumped more than the common pumped more than the Secret Rare. Like there was a greater multiple of the common than there was the Secret Rare. But no, for real crafting event is going to make the common a grabber. I know. War can always be articulated and justified. Counter support from enough people to make it happen. The ones who don't want war can't stop it because they inherently don't want it, so they won't rise to stop it. Yeah. Agreed. Speaking from having no Aang and not being into the IP, just being transparent with you, I think it will do good. I'm going to try to pick 4 or 5 when they get slept on after a few drops. It might. You might have the chance. Yeah, like a month or 2, Aang will be oversold, maybe. So I'm counting on. Look forward to Raphael. I've yet to get a special edition of those, and I love the OG TMNT and want one of each model, common, ultra rare, and the special edition. This is my opinion. Baby Groot is like Baby Yoda, Grogu of Marvel. People love Groot and haven't seen the Guardians of the Galaxy. Same with Grogu. They know him but haven't seen the Mandalorian. Yeah, they might not have seen the greater stuff. If they people bomb of your cities in order to go to war, then could we apply the same logic to 9/11? That is a theory, and it's a pretty mainstream one. I'm not saying that we did it ourselves. The more likely scenario is that they heard of the plan beforehand and then didn't do anything to stop it. Because the Associated Press reported, and the CIA's own website admits, that on the morning of 9/11, they were running drills of having hijacked aircraft going to the World Trade Center and Pentagon. So NORAD stood down on that day. There was, yeah. I don't know what's most likely. I remember when the 2016, there was a new commission report that came out that said the US was funding something. Now, whether they knew what it was funding or not, they probably didn't even know. But they were funding flight schools in Saudi Arabia, I think. And the terrorists that flew those planes on that day were trained at those flight schools. Now, again, I don't think the US even knew what their money just goes everywhere a lot of times with no accountability, no traceability. But I mean, the World Trade Center had been attacked before. It had been bombed before. And also, when was it? Donald Rumsfeld? Donald Rumsfeld had owned the buildings for a while. And in June of that year, he made sure to put that the Twin Towers were covered under terrorist attacks. And he got paid not once, but twice on those. Billions of dollars. There was apparently some type of there's some in the basement of there, or in the basements of some of those buildings, there were certain valuable things that were looted or stolen, maybe done ahead of time. There was also in Building 7, which, be advised, no plane hit Building 7 on that day. It was just scattered fires. And even you had Donald Rumsfeld say at one point, we decided to pull the building, which generally means that you put bombs in there. And it fell into its own footprint at free fall speed. Now you make the argument with the Twin Towers, like, okay, a plane hit those buildings, and that's how they fell. That's why they fell. But with Building 7, there was no plane that hit that. Those scattered fires, jet fuel can't melt steel beams. That is very suspect. Somehow they find a passport amongst all the rubble and flames that, oh, hey, we found these passports. That means they must belong to, these guys. Again, there was a report that came out in 2016 showing a bunch of other inconsistencies. The official 9/11 Commission report that came out X amount of time after 9/11 didn't even mention Building 7. It is just a lot of, there's a whole website, architects and engineers for 9/11 truth. When I was younger, I did a ton of research on that. Just a bunch of stuff that just doesn't add up. Now, maybe a lot of the people that had helped do that research were just people that couldn't accept the fact that random things can happen, and they needed to find an explanation for it. And it was an easier pill to swallow that, oh yeah, it was inside job, as opposed to just bad random things can happen. Or the opposite, the people that don't believe that is like, oh no, you conspiracy theorists are all fake. Maybe those are the people that don't want to peek behind the curtain, and they don't want to think that the government could do something like this. But again, there was a project back when JFK was in office, where I forget what it was called, but they were going to shoot down an American airliner and blame it on Cuba, and that was going to be the reason to go into Cuba. And this was signed by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So yes, people have attacked, including the US, had planned to attack their own people before to justify going to war. And I don't want to think that 9/11 one of those, I would think, because the FBI gets probably an insane amount of letters or like tips per day, right? That would say, yeah, we're this terrorist organization. We're gonna, bomb this place, do this place, and they have to decipher which threats are real and which are not. So maybe they had just decided that one day, they got this threat. Yeah, we're gonna bomb the World Trade Center, and then there's like, okay, we've gotten this 100 times this month already, and they don't. So I think maybe they were warned, and some people took threats seriously and some didn't, because there's probably so many threats. Like there's a lot of threats on a daily basis that probably just has no idea about. I'm not saying it's like a Men in Black type situation, but although now, like, didn't JD Vance just say that he believes the aliens are not aliens, or demons? Bro. Um, and like you were saying before, when talking about people coming down and breeding with humans and creating Nephilims, like maybe they're just not fallen angels. Maybe they came from the sky because they were dropped off by a plane that was too high for people to see and they parachuted down. Or maybe they're from, they had jetpacks. Maybe they're from another universe or our universe, but in the future. There's just so many possibilities. And yeah, we could apply that same logic to 9/11. I mean, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, that brought us into war into Vietnam. That was a lie. 58,000 of a generation were killed based upon a lie. So again, the government's done this before. They've continued to do it. I mean, who's to say they did? I don't know. Again, there's a lot more people that have done a lot more research than I have about this. I would like to think I could look at these things very level-headed, but at the end of the day, with all the research that I've done, I'm still not. Does the evidence point a certain way? Yes, but just because the evidence points a certain way doesn't mean that it actually happened like that. So again, that's hard to know for sure. Oh, same here. Team Cora, let's go. I love how we go from like one of the darkest things in U.S. history. Oh yeah, Team Cora, let's go. The Dragon of the West. Oh my God, give me Iroh. Give me Iroh. Everyone else can shut the heck up, because Iroh. Ooh, we got a little Definity by here. Definity was down today. I've been going for almost 2 hours. We barely even talked about crypto. Definity down 10% on the day. Yeah, bro. The Dragon of the West. Oh my God. Iroh. Give me Iroh. Let me hug Iroh. Let me hug him in real life, bro. I don't know Grogu because my Star Wars lore is 1 through 6. Rogue One, Obi-Wan series, nothing. So listen, as somebody that also loves 1 through 6, and Clone Wars and Rebels and Rogue One, and the Obi-Wan series, hit and miss, but I like. But Mandalorian, I really enjoyed. Mandalorian. I know a lot of people did not like the Ahsoka series, but I did. Book of Boba Fett. People didn't like that, but I did. I think you would probably like Book of Boba Fett. You'd probably like Mandalorian. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I know Grogu because of the hype Mandalorian show, and everyone called him Baby Yoda. Yeah, still pretty good. Grogu's newer age and his lore is based on his cuteness. Doesn't even do anything. He does a lot. He does a lot. He knows some of the ways of the Force, and it's part of Mando's crew. Undervalued, yes. I'm saying it's unlikely Iran killed innocent 9-year-old daughters while they were in nap time. I know Chavi, you're pro-America, sometimes plain and simple. Just you AF and lie about it. Listen, I just talked a bit about 9/11 and the Gulf of Tonkin incident and the U.S. lying to go to war and trying to lie to go to war against Cuba years ago. So I would say that I am, although again, bleed red, white, love my country, don't always love my government. And yes, they've done some things, but if that's the U.S. doing that, you can be damn sure that Iran has, if they had a reason to do that, they would do that too. So again, I'm not saying that in this specific situation, like, oh, no way the US could have done that. Of course they could have. But I wouldn't put it past Iran to do that to their own citizens, because again, like, I know the US has done that years ago. So I don't see any reason why Iran wouldn't do that. I mean, there are good reasons why Iran shouldn't do that, but and again, maybe they didn't, but in my opinion, I think it's very possible that they would have as well, for that reason that I mentioned before, just to drum up support for that war. And because, you know, that's what you do, throw a grenade and direct it somewhere. Like, the people of Iran are already pissed, and I think the government might just want to say, like, okay, take that anger, but direct it towards the US. Don't direct it towards, you know, this current regime, even though that's kind of the whole thing that started this. But yeah, so I hope you had heard what I was saying about the US before, and why, again, like, I hope you don't think that I'm just blind to that and saying that America can do no wrong ever, because again, they made a lot of mistakes over the years, some fairly recently. But yeah, as far as the bombing of that elementary school, I hope it wasn't the US. I mean, either way, someone did that, and that's awful. I hope it wasn't the US. It might have been, we don't know. Thermite, military-grade explosive particles, was found in the dust of the Twin Towers. Explosions were heard at the base of the towers. Engineers constructed with crashed airline. Yeah. The engineers did build that with, I don't know if they did that with the aircraft that were available in 2001, but yeah, even firefighters were just like, hey, yeah, when this building blew, I heard boom, 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 all the way down. And there were whole floors in the Twin Towers that you couldn't go in unless you were like a janitor, unless you had like access to it. So there were entire floors that nobody could get into. What were in those floors? And again, when Building 7 was hit, that happened to be where a lot of the stuff for Enron was, a lot of the stuff for a lot of debt was. And it's like, okay, well, where's that paperwork now? Well, it was in Building 7, and now it's gone. You know, they pulled it. So yeah, a lot of stuff that just doesn't add up. They send missile strikes from the luxury private jet. They don't send it from, I mean, they might give the order. You have good line of schoolgirls with no remorse. Again, I don't think there's enough proof to definitively say that, yeah, 100% was the US while they're doing this. Even though it's possible. I just haven't seen, well, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen the incident yet, but I don't think there's enough evidence yet for me to say that. Building owner took out, sir. Yeah, he did that in June of Donald Rumsfeld, or no, it was Larry Silverstein. One of those two. They did it in June of 2001, just a few months before it happened. They were absent there. So there's a friend of mine that her mom's brother or something mentioned that, like, he got a call like the day before saying, like, hey, don't go into work tomorrow. Now, my friend's mom is not a liar, and she's just very, could she be gullible? Maybe. Was that just a story that's told? Maybe someone wanted to feel a certain type of way, feel important, whatever. Like, yeah, it was important enough to get called and not go in. Sure. But I mean, like, we've all heard examples of that, where like somebody knows someone that, you know, that's my story. I knew someone that knew someone. Jumps in the Epstein files. He fired FBI directors and hired new people and won't snitch on them as because they get pardons. Just because you're in the Epstein file, like George Lucas and Michael Saylor's in the Epstein files, that doesn't mean that they did anything. It just means that they were mentioned in there. So I'm not saying that Trump did or didn't do anything in those Epstein files. I'm saying that just because you're in them, again, Stephen Hawking's in them. He was on the island. He apparently liked to watch midgets do equations that were impossible to solve. Even if you were on the island, it could just be like a Stephen Hawking situation. Maybe you just like riding the white horse and normal women of the night, Or you could be on there and yeah, like the absolute horrible shit that you should be in a hole forever for, with like living a horrible rest of your days. Or you could, but again, with if the Dems had some concrete evidence on them, they would 100% be shouting that. If the Dems had anything on him whatsoever that was like a firm, yes, we know this is him, we know this is like, they would be shouting it from the rooftops. But because they haven't come out with that yet, I'm assuming there's nothing like that on him. He does have cases that did get, I don't know if they were pardons. I think they just settled out of court. I don't think they were, I don't think he got pardoned for any of those. I think they had settled out of court for that. Court of Goat Slayer says voice analysis of hijack recordings supposedly or certain dialects and not Arabic. Also some dancing people in building. That is very strange. There are real life covered up events to Epstein horror survivors committing suicide in the public stated that. I'm not depressed. I'm sure that's happened as well. Jeffrey Epstein. Like he didn't. I don't think he unalived himself. I think he was definitely Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Arthur instead suicide. I'm sure that's possible as well. Yeah. I'm sure that's very possible. Yes, UFOs are in the Bible. Send me the links. They taught me UFOs in the Bible in my Bible class. Send me the links. I need to see those. Yeah, Iran is evil AF2 on all sides. In the war, evil, but still, yeah, bad times. Randy is a thinking veteran. He's not a blind rah-rah, government always good veteran. That's why I watch his channel. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Oh no, I'm out. I'm out of water. Nah, dude, I love Randy. He's a good guy. Just very hard. He says he bleeds red, white, and blue because the colors have done so much evil. I'd like to think that I would be as good as Captain America if placed in those positions. I mean, as far as military life, you can consider it boring compared to some, like even as far as like Goat Slayer saw more action than me. I've never been part of this like conspiracy, like, oh, I gotta leak this stuff to people. Like for most stuff, it was just secret clearance. Like it wasn't like Yankee White. I didn't have a four extra digits to my social security number or anything. And like honestly, like yeah, if you watch a bunch of spy movies, yeah, like back in the day, like back when Cardinal Goat Slayer was in, you can put thumb drives into computers all the live long day. That's how we used to watch movies. Most of the military did not like Edward Snowden because of what he did. We could no longer put thumb drives into computers and we couldn't watch movies. That's why most people that in the military don't like it. It's like, yeah, this asshole over here. We can't put thumb drives in computers anymore. Most of us are not doing anything nefarious. We just want to put movies in. Google unlawful Iran strike. I think it's at least freaking. Oh, that's horrible. Horrible stuff. Colors represent oath to protect the Constitution. Agreed. This is why I like officers. A buddy of mine just called because he graduated from officer training school, and officers take a different oath of enlistment than enlisted. Enlisted swear an oath to the Constitution, the president, and the officers appointed over us. The officers just swear a oath to the Constitution. And I really like that. Idea of protecting the motherland against invaders of foreign and domestic, not the government administrations that hide behind it. Yeah, preach. I mean, if you already have the R charges and S with the minor charges that got turned into allegations, then your name pops up in Epstein files too, I'm sure. Right? Come on, my G, 1 + 1 = 2, doesn't it? A lot of times, yes. In this, and again, I'm also like back in the day, like so there was like this thing on TikTok. It was a trend, like 2 years ago. It started with this girl, I forget her name, but she's just like, oh yeah, I was 14, your grandfather was 28, and you know, he just would follow me home from school, and eventually I just said yes. He was so persistent. And the granddaughter was like, Grandma, you little victim, what the fudge? Because apparently a lot of times back in the day, it wasn't just like, oh yeah, you know, 19, 17, yeah, it's fine. No, it was like, yeah, grandpa was like 25 and grandma was like 15. I was like, doesn't fly today. That not cool. Like that is horrible today. But back in the day, going way back, life of a woman was kind of like, why do you have to ask dad's permission to take her hand in marriage? Because back in the day, there wasn't much difference between, okay, cleaning the house, making dinner, doing dishes, you know, for your family versus for a new husband. Like women just, there wasn't much difference between like a 14-year-old and 22-year-old back in, we're going 80 years back here, or even 50 years back, or even less than that. Because a lot of times women, they were just homemakers or in the home. And again, I'm not saying just homemakers, like, stay-at-home mom is one of the most important jobs. You're never not at work. It's fairly thankless, but you have a very important job because you're helping raise the next generation of kids. So I didn't want to say like just a, you know, stay-at-home mom, but again, there wasn't that much difference between those two because you're either being a stay-at-home gal for, you know, your family that you were brought up with, or a stay-at-home wife keeping the house in order, doing the cooking, the cleaning, raising the kids and all that for a husband. And so again, there wasn't much difference, you know, between those ages. Because Trump is like 80, 60 years ago when the world was completely different, did he maybe have something with someone underage when he was older? Probably. Because apparently that's what happened back in the day, where you have people in like their, I mean, even in parts of the world now, we're at war with Iran, apparently they marry off children that are like 9, like that. I don't want to say I don't care, but like I try to respect other cultures as much as possible, as long as they do no wrong or harm. But marrying off like 9-year-olds is fucking disgusting. And yeah, that again, in parts of the world today, that stuff like that still happens. But in the US, as far as, you know, again, years ago, yeah, apparently the age gap of a guy in their 20s and a girl in their teens kind of happened a lot back in the day. And you know, and I understand why it happened, different time and as normal, and you know, so, and yeah, Trump happened to be alive when that type of stuff was going on, so I'm sure that, but again, I don't know what he's done or hasn't done. If there's enough, you know, where there's enough smoke, might be fire on one or two things. I don't know. Again, I don't know the man. Although I do know people that do know him. They say he's super nice. They say he's really funny. I'd like to think that he wouldn't do anything too crazy, but you know, I just think Chavi likes to give people the benefit of the doubt. I've just seen so much crazy stuff over the years that, again, with the UFOs, like the government just trademarked aliens.gov. Nancy Mace, who'll be on the podcast at some point, you know, was grilling Congress last year and a half ago about, you know, non-human biologicals in these aircraft that they're finding. And it's like, I've just seen so much crazy stuff that I don't put anything out for like saying like, oh yeah, there's no way that happened. Then it was like, it might have happened. So, but when you're a child, yeah, don't deserve your. I agree that if you're that, what you're describing, they don't deserve any. They deserve to get pew-pewed. But I don't see any hard evidence that that's happening. And I'm sure a lot of people in the world are evil like that. And I hope God smites them, and I hope I would hope that they would change and somehow become a better being and not be a negative force in the universe. But yeah, that's if they're that, most times pew pew is probably the better answer. Like for real, said Trump, have you deported and you have citizenship? No, I don't see any reason why Trump would want to have me deported. I'm business owner, been business owner for better part of a decade now. I'm what's that called? I don't say just useful, but I'm a contributor to the economy, to society. I'm a net positive to anywhere. I would say just the world in general, but to anywhere that I'm in, everyone loves me. So I don't see any reason why he would want to have me deported. Even though you say he's a cool guy, I've heard, again, I don't know him personally. I just know that I know a couple of people that do, and they all, yeah, I think he's a cool guy. You ever met Trump in the back? Trump's head, he'd probably hate being brown. That's how he is. If you can show me a clip of Trump being like super racist towards anyone, um, give it to me. I feel like you're coming from an area where half the world hates. I would say most of the world, but half the country hates Trump. But a lot of it, and I'm not saying this is you, but I feel like a lot of the people that hate him or dislike him is because even though there's a lack of evidence for it, they'll think like, oh no, he did that 100%, what you're saying there. And yeah, like there's so many things over here, he totally did that without, again, any being hard evidence. And a lot of times because the media tells them to. And again, I'm not saying that's why you dislike him. Maybe he did something bad to someone in your family at some point, and you know the story like traveled down, and it's like, yeah, how can you be a good person and do that? Maybe that's it. But when you say like, probably hate for being brown, trust me, they're evil. Like I've never seen evidence for that. And again, maybe someone in your family or someone that you know, like a family friend, had met him and he was just horrible to him, and the person that said that to you guys was just not alive. Maybe that happened, and maybe that's a example of a personal story that it's just not in the military because they can't prove it. Just because they can't prove it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. I get that, but so it's just unless somebody says like, "Hey, I've had this experience with Trump. He was very awful every time I met him. Every time I did this." And or it was someone that was just like, yeah, you know what? I knew him back in the day, nice up front, and even nice, kind of behind back doors. But sometimes when you think, think you could joke with them, suddenly then the racial slurs start coming, then this starts coming, and you see how he actually is. Sure, if we get someone like that, and it was like, okay, then maybe. But also, if that was years ago, then sometimes people change. A lot of times they don't, but sometimes they do. I just haven't seen evidence of him like personally saying or doing anything bad to minorities. I mean, the ICE agent stuff is like, yeah, I get that, but a lot of times, a lot of times, not all the time, we've clearly seen evidence of ICE tackling like 80-year-old people and them like harming like Maria, who's been in the country for like 30 years and she's never broken any law outside of being here illegal. And yeah, like those things are awful. But most of the people that ICE take out, they deserve to not be here. They deserve to be kicked out because a lot of them are violent immigrants. You're a good guy. Chavez, if you ever get high places, don't friend the snakes. They will bite. There was a time, and I guess, yeah. It's. I think you've been here when I've talked about my summer in the Hamptons, and a lot of famous people and powerful people there, and they were all nice to me. Because I guess when you reach that level of success, everyone kind of just assumes you're in the same, you know, class, and probably like, oh, you know, maybe let's say they are racist to a lot of other brown people, like, oh, well, you're not those type of brown people, you're my type of brown person, you know, like I don't know. But just from the more powerful people that I've met, they've been nothing but nice to me. Yeah, I don't. mm. I would hope that I could discern who's being fake nice or who's being real nice. Um, I would hope that I don't get into a position where I'd be, well, I would hope for that position, right? Because then maybe you could make a difference. Um, I don't know. I don't. Well, I can't run for president. I was born in Peru, but maybe one day, if I see the country going in a way I don't like and I want to run for governor or senator from somewhere, maybe. I don't know. Some of those wild videos I've seen last year have been point of view footage of Palestinians getting sniped at or retrieving food or just hanging by water, war crime trips. Yeah, I've seen some of that too. Really bad stuff, really, really bad stuff. And that is horrible. I hope the people that committing those crimes, they get captured and they answer for them. They have to answer for them, because that's horrible. I'll invite him to masquerade. Let's be real, it's our MO. One of Mar-a-Lago priorities kicking off, and my memory serves correctly. Coincidence doubtful. His priorities exchange information where only the guest goers and a few others know who is wearing what. Ideas get exchanged, things happen, grand scale, eyes wide shut. A buddy of mine was in Mar-a-Lago recently with the $100,000 a plate dinner, and there was a lot of it was just networking. It was just, hey, what do you do? What do you do? Can we do business together? That's mostly what it is. At least, and now maybe my friend wasn't in the super backdoor after party deals where they do stuff. Because if he was, he obviously wouldn't tell me about it. But I mean, and maybe it's just like, yeah, okay, at this level, there's got to be super secrecy. Let's just tell him about, do this deal so that we have something to say while we were here. And I don't know. Yeah, they'll invite Chavez to the ball. Doesn't sip the Kool-Aid. Nah, brah, daCat is a BYOB kind of guy. Nobody's spiking his drink. I do BYOB. I do bring my own beer. Drinks. That was part about having power. You can cover up hard evidence. Only saying this because you said there's no solid evidence. You're right. People can cover up stuff, sweep stuff under the rug, or they could make it so that, hey, you have problems, your family has problems, I'll make those problems go away. But you're gonna go to jail for 30 years for this crime that you didn't commit, and you can't say anything. I'm sure that happens all the time. How to watch out for people being nice to you. Didn't the pilgrims give the natives blankets? Oh yeah, I think they did. Nice, yeah. Out of smallpox, America rolls. Seem nice but bite. Yeah, fair point, Booth. Fair point. Like I said, Chavi, don't befriend the snakes when you're a rich man. They bite. I mean, I've been in these circles for a while now, and there's one person that I think I've met that, which again has only been nice to me, hasn't done anything bad to me, but I've seen this person like, wait, this was your friend, and you're doing this, like this isn't like, yeah. So I have seen a person like that has displayed very psychopathic tendencies, and it's like, bro, so this is how you got a lot of your wealth. Like okay. 100,000 plate dinner is paying to go. Being invited to go with concealed identity is different. Yes, correct. daCat, animal sanctuary for animals. He wants to read and learn and do other stuff good too. And honestly, this is where daCat's going. I've had for those of you that followed me for a long time, 90% of my net worth will go to saving endangered species, and a lot of the work that I've been doing is going to be geared towards that. Like daCat is going to be geared towards that. So when I go to people and I say, hey, go and buy the daCat comic, go and buy the daCat fig pin, get the digital NFT on VeVe, that's where a lot of the profits are going to go. And that's why I'm building it. Bitcoin, 10 Americans injured in Iranian attack on Saudi airbase. Hit multiple tankers as well. It sucks. Crypto Cosmo saying love it. And I'll say, heck yeah, Crypto Cosmo. Anyway, let's go over some of the news here now that it's over 2 hours, 2 hours in. Let's see where we were. Did we do Wednesday yet? What's today? Friday? Tom Lee's Bitmine bought 67,000 Ethereum worth 144 million on the 25th. There's another VeVe update that's like 4 in like 2 weeks. Pretty nuts. What are they doing? What are they building? First Lady Melania Trump appears at White House with a humanoid AI robot. And apparently some of those AI robots walk like Biden. But yeah, that's interesting. Oh, we got yeah. The part of being a snake is no one knows you're a snake. There. Hopefully I have good snake detection. Watch this man, Eccles Sasticus 67. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. There. So if you met a billionaire at a fancy party and he buys you a drink and says, hey, I'm a vet too, man, we're brothers, now all good stuff. I mean, I've met billionaires. They seem nice to me too. Now, again, like, if they wanted to take advantage of me in a certain, well, again, anything a billionaire wants, they can get. They probably don't need me for any. If anything, they would just use me for my network and be like, hey, you know this person, give me an intro. Which I would totally. But let's say someone like Manu Chowdhury is not a billionaire yet. I think he will be at some point. I think he definitely will be, at least on paper, maybe by the end of the decade. Maybe not. Maybe by the end of depending on how investments go and stuff. So I met him originally, and we just had a free exchange of ideas. We just had this free exchange of, what he was working on. He's been in banking for years, and got into crypto. He made this token, Definity, that he actually bought part of the channel. And I own a bunch of his companies as well. Part of his companies, not very small part, but his companies are worth a ton. And he's just been a good friend. Like one hand washes the other. And if you ever see the movie I Care a Lot, I'm gonna spoil the end of the movie. I Care a Lot. The Peter Dinklage goes to the blonde lady, and he offers her a deal, and she's like, how do we trust each other? He says, when we make each other rich, the trust will come. And that's it. So it's like, if you continue to do something that benefits someone else, in my opinion, then okay, that means you're exhibiting signs of a good person. And this has happened throughout human history. You want to be generous, especially if you're a leader, especially if you're someone in that position of power, because that gives others incentive to support you. Like, let's say if you're a really good hunter, and then you have this crew. If you hunt and you're the dominant one there, and you take the lion's share, you take majority share, and you barely give any others enough to survive, it's like they're not going to want to hunt with you. Even though hunts with you work 80% of the time, they would rather work with another team where hunts only are successful 40% of the time, because they get a bigger piece of the pie. That's why it incentivizes leaders to be generous. Manu exemplifies that a lot by, we've had good deals together, and he's done stuff for me. Manu is a good reason of why I'm a millionaire again. And I will follow him forever for that. Like, I knew there was a reason why this guy Paul, that's on Crypto Rain's channel every Wednesday, I knew there was a reason why Paul followed Manu for 20 years. It's because Manu has exemplified to me, he's like doing stuff for me that has helped make me a millionaire again, that he didn't have to do. Now, granted, I've helped him a lot as well. So maybe you could call that reciprocation, but again, like, that stuff was paid for. Like, he didn't have to do this. So now anything he wants, anything he needs, because he's my friend. Like I'm just loyal in general, where if you're my friend and you need help, as long as Ron Paul, one of my heroes in American politics, just people in general, he said that if you have the ability to help in a certain situation, you have the moral obligation to do so. Even if you don't know the person. Like, I did a lot of PI work back in the day, and I did a lot of those jobs for free. Even after the military, I would go back and do some PI jobs. I would do a lot of them for free, because there were some people that were just down on their luck and they just needed help. And granted, a lot of it was through friends, and sometimes I'll get paid, because I wasn't doing all of that for free all the time. I wasn't freaking charity yet. But yeah, I just wanted to exemplify Manu on that as an example of, I don't know if I believe in deep down, but do you think deep down I'm a good person? Well, what are your actions? Do your actions benefit other people? Are they selfish? Like, if it's the latter, if it's yes, if all your actions are just selfish and it's for you, then maybe you're not. But you could be a good guy, like, deep down, but your actions are not displaying that. Whatever you are deep down doesn't matter, because your actions are telling me that you're either selfish or you do stuff only for the benefit of you. Same thing. But if somebody tells me, like, yeah, this guy might talk nice and he might do some stuff that's nice, but deep down I know he's an asshole. It's like, okay, well, you keep saying that, but all I'm seeing from this person is they do charity work, they give to others generously, which again, like, as a leader, you are incentivized to do so, to be generous, so that you can keep getting, the support from people. Like, there are, again, that in humans, that's what we're meant to do. And that's why not being a simp, but being generous, like, that helps get you girls, because they're looking. If you're a girl, you could find a hot guy. Like, even if you're like a 7, you could find a hot guy to pay attention to you and to boink you and do whatever. But to get like if it's a hot guy that he doesn't share his money, he doesn't share his wealth, and you're just like, okay, you're a 10, you're not giving me anything. My girlfriend has like she's got a guy that's like an 8. He doesn't make near as much money as you, doesn't have near nice a car, do whatever, but he shares with her. He buys her stuff. He does it. You don't buy me anything. You barely give me fucking cab fare. Like, it's, girls will go, and I don't want to say settle, but yeah, girls will settle with guys that are not as good looking, not as rich, not as successful, don't have a nice car, they don't dress as well. They will settle with that guy because that guy is generous, over the 10 that just uses them for boinking. And you shouldn't be generous just because it can get you laid, although that is a good byproduct of that. Yeah, if you show me that your actions have benefited other people, and you're net positive in this world, and nobody's perfect. Like, I feel like Miley Cyrus, nobody's perfect. Meow, 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 meow. Again and again till we get it right. Nobody's perfect. So, I mean, if 90% of what you do is good, and that has a greater, positive effect than the 5 or 10% stuff that you do that maybe a little questionable, maybe it's wasteful, gluttonous, whatever sin you want to put in there, you're still a good person overall. Try to be good and useful and bring value everywhere. So I don't know if that answered your question. If I can tailwind off this with DEVVE, OMI, daCat, and VeVe, I want to assist in helping the Florida Panthers because I live here. They're my favorite team since the early 90s, and they're a freaking cool cat. They are a cool cat. And together, we can save them all. But saying, don't say he's your friend until you prove him. Could be a snake. Agreed. You gotta prove him and do what I just said. Dude, please do a stream on AI robots. I don't know enough about them. I just know that, you know, Melania walking next to AI robot. Biden looks like he walks like a robot. A lot of conspiracies there. U.S. Postal Service to impose 8% surcharge on packages to cover rising fuel costs. Rip. I mean, help with the animal, Florida Panther. I know, not the hockey team. Became aware of them being real when I was a kid because the hockey team, prior to that, I thought they only had bobcats in Florida. I was attacked by a bobcat once. It was hiking in New Jersey. It's a long story. Kara came down like Rafiki. It was nuts. Just like the verse says, don't say someone's your friend. Don't trust them. Don't credit them until you prove them as a good person. They could be a snake. I should have freaking tried. Fair point. I'll leave it here one more time so you can have it echo in your head for wisdom. Ecclesiasticus 6:7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit. Yeah. One of, if not the most endangered animals here in North America. We've got to save them. It's pronounced Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus. Okay. The verse says, be hasty to credit them. So if you credit Trump as a good man, you'll be that much more heartbroken if you found out text with the minor allegations are true. Again, if he was like 60 years ago, he was 20 and she was 16. 60 years ago, that was normal. That was well with it. But yeah, like if you were to do that now, it's like bad. Jail. Horny jail, real jail, bad. But again, in the world that was a different time. But again, if it was like he was like 35 and she was like 15, like I don't care what universe you're from. Where like that's not, yeah, bad, very bad. And I get it. Different time back in like the 20s. He wasn't alive in the 20s, but you know what I mean. Yeah, if that was true, I hope that's not true. And if that is true, that's horrible. Hope he gets right with God if that were true, which I don't know if it is. Because in your good heart, you think Trump is a good, cool man. I mean, I just go based off what my friends, people that know him tell me, and I just kind of leave it at that. They haven't proved him yet. I don't think I'll ever get a chance to prove it. And even if let's say me and Trump get put together in a room for something, like I'm not gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna do this for you until you prove yourself as a friend to me. For like it, you know, if it's something that we're working on that can help the country or you know whoever, it's a greater benefit to the number of people, then I'll do it. Like there could be somebody in the room that I like say have problems with, or they're just I know that they are not a good person, and maybe they're doing a certain project or doing something for the wrong reasons. But if that project means that a greater benefit to the overall world, then I will still do that. And you know, I'm not saying Trump was that or is that, but I just as long as we're doing something that benefits Americans, the world, whatever, I'll do that. I'm not gonna say I don't care who that's with, just that I'm not gonna wait for him for me to prove him. If we let's say we're talking about that and we have a few minutes before the next meeting, it's like, hey, how's it going? See the you know, and we talk or whatever, you know, and a relationship builds. Cool. And I'll hope that he's just like my friends say, he's just cool, he's funny, and maybe that's it. I don't really expect to have a big relationship with the guy. But if I do, I hope he's cool. And if he's not, if he actually is like, oh, he actually is like, oh, then I'll just do my job and that's it. Bible just isn't a cool story, bro. It's a way to operate as a man in life, how to battle evil and stay a good, wholesome man in this wicked world. And we need, there's a guy named Safety Chris. He had a song called Heroes or We Need Heroes. The line of the song goes, dry blood and rusted nails, driven through the bone, forsaken on his cross, the hero dies alone. And there's something about we need heroes in this wicked world as well. Just unlocked a core memory. What do they call the scriptures? A sword. 2 Timothy 2 King 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. What soldier doesn't know how to use his sword? Agreed. Came down like Rafiki. Okay, so no, it didn't. So me, a friend we'll call Sweet Mate, and this girl Kara, we're on a hike in New Jersey. It's not up a mountain, and we see this pair of bobcats, and picture like a serval, like the biggest house cat you've ever seen, and then make it like 50% bigger. These things are like 30 pounds. They will heck you up. So I was like, what do we do? I'm like, what do you mean what do we do? What do we do? Scare him? We fight him? Do we just... Sweet Mate takes off running. I was like, okay. Hey, Kara, she's climbing up a thing. And I was like, oh my God. Like, so she climbed, like, there's like this 8-foot ledge or whatever. She does a pull-up, pulls us up over there. And I was like, oh God. So I'm trying to like do, as I have my hands up there, oh my God, Kara. And then I fall back. And I'm thinking like, oh God, I'm literally thinking these cats are going to eat me. I'm literally like leaning below us and like, this is how I die. This is a much less cool way to die. And what do I see as I'm lying on my back looking up? Kara coming down with a stick, or wherever the heck she got it, going, and jumping off of like the 8-foot thing. I don't know if she did a superhero landing because she landed over my head. And then she scared the bobcats away. And I was like, I don't even know what just happened. So she came down like Rafiki with her stick, like Rafiki's stick. And I was like, what is my life, bro? That was the craziest that was the craziest hiking experience I think, aside from time in Germany where I almost died of hypoxia because I ran up the mountain too fast. But they were both wild. So just assume because I think it was, well, I wouldn't say wrong, but it's just a lot of relationships that our grandparents had were when they were in their 20s and the girls were teenagers. And I'm not saying it's right. I probably wasn't, but that's just, again, what it was. And maybe not, what was 60 years ago? Well, I was in the 60s. It was probably a bit before then, maybe in like the 40s. I'd say maybe in like the 40s. I mean, maybe before. You'd have to, I don't even want to Google that because that just gives me the ick even thinking about it. But yeah. Proving someone means you've been around them long enough and personally seen how they act in life, and those actions proves who they are. Okay, yeah, that's fair. You're a good guy, Chavi. Thank you. I try to be. Try to live life as, again, the end goal is to go Madagascar, save all the endangered species. Friend channel the power of Afiki. Got it. That was an awesome. Yeah. That was a I posted it on Facebook like years ago. I'll see if I can find it, and then if I type in Rafiki on Facebook, we're gonna. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're gonna go to post from me. Drunk, hungover. Okay. And in the morning, 30 minutes. Oh, deep fried Mrs. Fields cookies. Flashback, Veterans Day weekend. Yeah. Okay, here it is. Hold on. Okay, yeah. I'll send that to you. Where am I? How do I copy this? I'm gonna copy the link. And then you're on my Instagram, right? Meow. Yes, you are on my Instagram. I'm gonna send you the link. Quadruple Goat Slayer. Oh, says attachment unavailable. Okay, hold on. Maybe I could send it in Instagram. Incorrigible Goat Slayer. Sent. Okay, yeah. So I sent you the thing. It was from 2018. 2018. We did drunk baking. Oh yeah, we did drunk baking at 10 in the morning. Oh, Patty. She was our group psychologist before she went off to Germany. The brownies on the way. Deep. Yep, Mrs. Fields. 30 minutes. Good choice. Deep fried cookie dough Oreo slathered with peanut butter. Oh my god, I forgot we played strip poker. Patty. Naked minus oh, okay. Okay. Jealous wish you were us. She had me take my shirt off in strip poker. And she asked what happened to my back. And some were from Kara. Yeah, the lacerations are yeah, it was Veterans Day week. Okay, it was wild stuff. Wild stuff. So is there a purpose to the version 2 gold and silver VeVe logo? Because utility. I don't know. There might be something at some point. A couple friends of mine want to open a casino, and if they do, they would give all the logos like utility there. Like if you had one, you'd get a certain amount of chips each week or something. They'd have like a slot with VeVe in there. Point, you want all coins to move on with your life. I mean, it depends. For the most part, I don't want to say I've done that, but I remember in Mrs. Doubtfire where Robin Williams is being asked about all the stuff. He's like, well, as far as everything, I've done that. I've gotten the job. I've learned to cook. I've done this. I've maintained, this job for 2 months, 2 actually. And I mean, as far as doing other stuff, I mean, I went on a freaking crusade last year to find a permanent woman because, I'm kind of ready for it now. And went pretty well, and it went disastrously, and who knows. But again, I've owned a bunch of other companies. I don't want to say that I don't care what happens to crypto. It's just I still believe in all of these companies that are here now. They're making money. They're building. That I do believe their tokens will reflect the value of their companies and then go beyond that. And I think they'll be valued. I think they'll be overvalued at some point. So obviously I haven't sold anything. I still have my I still DCA sometimes, but yeah, a lot of other times I just kind of live my life. And honestly, daCat has been my new baby. So the first one, the artist is just he's so busy, and I can't get these last pages done. The second book we're probably going to use a new artist, which is unfortunate because this artist is amazing. But the second book we're going to need another one. The second book will probably go heavy in AI because I don't want to wait another year. Like the second book, I'll show you real quick. Let me see if I can bring it up. I've been working on it a bit. 3, B1, what the heck is B2? This is dumb. Open, okay, today. Well, let's just say page 57, Mollusts are fighting some robots. What's that about? And it's not done yet. Like this is going to be 60 to 64 pages. Maybe, yeah, probably 60. Like I don't want to wait another year. So we're probably going to get another artist for the second book, and we're probably going to get that done super quick, because the first one is going to do really well. But that's what I've been doing. Like I do a lot of brokering, I do a lot of connecting and networking, and I work for various other companies as well. Again, the altcoins, they could go to zero, and well, that would suck, but at this point doesn't really matter. But I would never give up on them. Because again, as long as the companies are doing well, for me, there's reasons to buy in DCA. If any of the companies, if it looks like I should jump ship or head south, I'd tell you. I'd be like, hey guys, listen, here's why I bought them in the first place. Here's why I continue to buy them, and here's why I stopped. Doesn't necessarily mean you should sell. Selling these now, dump these right now. Like that's what I would do. But I haven't seen that yet. Bump was different because I didn't have anything meaningful in Bump. That's pretty much it. That's the only one that I was ever in a little bit. But everything else seems to be extremely solid. And also, like I don't know if you were here at all today. It's almost a 3-hour stream today. We barely talked about crypto today. I still have a bunch of news we'll get to. Oh, you got it. Oh, wait, it's coming unavailable. Both times. Shared it with you. Well, it's not like it's me. Like it's Randy Chavez. It's mine. Do you have Facebook? Send me your Facebook. Because this is like, okay, hold on. Maybe I'll try it this way. Because I was sharing it via the share button, not the 2. I don't know. Damn, third time. It says attachment unavailable. Add me on Facebook, and then I'll just tag you in the comments, because like this is my post. Like I don't know why it's saying attachment unavailable. Like it's straight up mine. It's not private. Like it's my Facebook. I get it if you're like 21 go for 17. Well, I guess 17 is legal in New York. I like the older women, and even as a youngin, I shot my shot with older women. How old are you? 14? Yeah, no, not happened, kid. Okay. So I looked up how old you had to be, and so there was one time I was at this Christmas party, and it was at an old job of mine, but I was still invited to the Christmas party. And I was 16, and this girl was there, and I was like, yeah, I used to work here. I work here now. So she thought I was older. This is animal hospital. So usually you're not working in animal hospital until you're at least 18. I was thankful I got a job at 14 at one. Anyway, so I'm 16, I'm working for another hospital, but I go to the old hospital's Christmas party. And this girl's just like, blah, 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 like, hey, I'm Randy. Anyway, how old are you? 19? Cool. I was 16. She was 23. We boinked. It was great. Then I found out that she was married. I was like, oh my God, like that was horrible. She didn't have a ring on. She didn't like. Anyway, yeah, that was a good time. Then it wasn't a good time, but yeah, like I think she didn't tell anyone, because I think she found out I was 16, and she's like, oh God, no. And then I didn't tell anyone, because I found out she was married. I was like, oh God, no. So we both made mistakes. But yeah, anyway, that's how I found out in New York 17 is legal. And they might have changed it since then, although New York's pretty liberal. Is Aang animated? He is not. I think he will be in his other versions, though, like Water, Firebender, and stuff. I should get Secret Rare. I don't think he's animated, though. Why does he bald as a teen? I want to buy. Well, he's a monk, so he shaved his head. In season 3, he grows hair to be to blend in with the Fire Nation, to cover his tattoos. Airbenders made him shave. Yeah. Well, no, they were monks. I wouldn't really consider them cult-like. I'm going to get Secret Rare Aang instead of another Vader. Yeah, Wes definitely starts the pot. When I was 17, dated 28-year-old. I'm never doing that again. It was Valentine's Day. She's a pharmacist. I like to, bro. The people that party hardest: cosplayers, doctors, and veterans. I will repeat that: cosplayers, doctors, or people in the medical field, and veterans. I would say 90% of the doctors that I knew like did hard drugs, which is like, you wouldn't think, but it's like, well, you know, they know how to use them. They know what the effects are and what then. And there was this guy that was interviewed recently. The heck's his name? The guy that was interviewed, Brian Johnson, saying he took the most powerful dose of DMT in the world. And it's just, yeah, wild stuff. Anywho, just message you on Facebook. When we add you, is able to find you through VeVe posting it. Okay. Message requests. Okie dokie. All right, hold on. Share, messenger. Okay. If this doesn't work, I'm going to be uber mad. All right, I hope that works. Because if it didn't, I would have been a little shorty. Oh, you got a kitty. Oh, you had a kitty. It was 2017. Okay. If there's no bush, the swamp is. There's a veteran humor. Oh, that's great. Turtle Golf. Happy Friday. I was just talking about you before. All good things. All good things. It was more the fact that you tried to kill me on a mountain one day, but all good things aside from that. Yeah, I said the doctor that worked above her supplied her. Yeah, a lot of the doctors I knew, like 90% of them did hard drugs. 2, 3, cosplay and veteran. Doctor of Chaos. I wasn't a doctor. I was in the medical field though. Did that for the better part of a decade. But yeah, let's cosplay one day. Yeah, you got it. All right, let's go back to the news. Almost 3 hours into this freaking thing. Postal Service imposing 8% surcharge on packages to cover rising fuel costs. Uncensored AI says, I've discussed the draft with probably 10 people so far under the age of 42, and every single one of them has said verbatim, I'll shoot whoever comes to the door trying to take me. Jesus, guys. It's a bit much. A penny just sold for $450,000. A rare 1943 bronze Lincoln penny, struck during World War II when pennies were supposed to be made of steel, just sold for $456,000. Only a handful slipped into circulation, making them one of the most legendary error coins in U.S. history. The U.S. government in 1943 needed copper for the war, so pennies were made of steel, but a few were made in bronze. 124-hour stream. Well, we're about to hit 3 hours here. Oh, my back. Oh, the other back didn't crack. I don't know. If we get Pokemon, I'll do a 24-hour stream if we get Pokemon. Now, so if anyone wants to do that. Ooh, BlackRock ETF has sold 200 million Bitcoin, or $200 million worth of Bitcoin. We had a Secret Rare Captain America sell recently, $224. 2 Venom Ultra Rares sold for $100 each. The new X-Men Secret Rare sold for $200. All recent sales. Congratulations. Oh, on Myo.land. Collaboration artist, VeVe Nakomi. Very good, very good. Get some of those. My man. Screen used C-3PO head from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, just sold at propstore.com for over $1 million doll hairs. One of the most iconic droids in the film history, a hero prop worn on screen in the original 77 classic. Screen used production piece directly tied to the birth of Star Wars. Museum level provenance. Absolute blue chip collectible. Sold for $1,058,400. Okay. BlackRock sold $70 million worth of Bitcoin on the 25th. One of the girls dated recently, she looked like John Benet Ramsey when she was younger. Egg yolks. Okay. Aw. Mr. Hulk 181 says he's buying 20 ANGs per day. Should get him in the top. Let's see if he's gotten any more since then. Okay. Where was I here? Let's do. Oh, my lordy. All right. And it's still at over $18. Damn, Gold Class has 107. Vicente has 103. Ferryman 78. Chavi Cat, that's me, is 76. Salone's at 72, but damn, 7. Bunch of other people buying, but none that I recognize. And I haven't seen Hulk 181 today or yesterday. He really did that the first day. Ooh, Kaki Gaijin got one. Kaki Gaijin got number 1508. Ferryman, Sean Solo. Oh, Chavi Cat. Okay, man. So funny to be a story over poker along with the deep fried Oreos. Damn, this sound fire. I don't care for. Oh, I actually didn't even. I didn't even finish. I don't remember that. Hold on. Oh, I could just go to the one I sent you. All right, where was I here? Show cards. Okay, heckin' service. Need another beer. Have it in my back. Scars. My knees hurt. Giant house cats. Yeah. Giant house cats. Stare at them. Sweet Maid takes off like Usain Bolt. Turn around. Kara legit kicks me in the face as she uses my body to climb up the cliff we're next to, leaving me alone with two 30-pound felines with the sharpest claws I've ever seen. You want to know what the F I did? I screamed like Wolverine. And you want to know how they reacted? They pounced at me. So I try to parkour my way up the cliff while they tear the shit out of me. I luckily fall and they step back. And want to know what I see as my down body gazes toward the sky, preparing them to eat me? Kara says, me. This bitch jumping off the 15-foot cliff with a stick like she found, like she's freaking Rafiki, and she scares them off. Hattie says, oh my goodness. I say, and this is how I got those scars. Head voice is skeptical. That was my story and I'm sticking to it. It's a story within a story. I have outdone myself. Okay, sorry, moving on here. Why do people Photoshop me like this? Edward Scissorhands. Why is Burns Hulk like 40 gems? Thought he was a goodie. Incredible Hulk #1? Let's see. I mean, he is. Incredible Hulk #1 is like one of the best comics that you can get on VeVe, and he's $16. Or are you talking about like the animated Hulk? Like the original, like, because, yeah, it's cool too. Ooh. Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital Mara sold 15,000 Bitcoin worth over $1 billion on the 26th. Oh, today's the 20th, right? Okay, today's the 27th. All right, guys, we'll do another 7 minutes because most do, yes. Most cryptos do rely on Bitcoin. Peanut butter is an Achilles, bro. Like, what did I do on my diet today? I did 1,590 calories, 90 and 68 and 58, and I had 188 grams of protein. So let me 188 and 1590. So like, listen, I'm doing the best that I can here. Like, I had less than 1,600 calories and I had 188 grams of protein. You know, I'm doing the best that I can here. But like, you still see the but I've been at it for 8 days, you know, like, And tomorrow, get to do some back biceps. Today was a big cardio day. Haven't really done a ton of boxing lately, but I definitely want to get back into that as well. The collectible amount. I like him. I don't have him, but I like Hulk. If you had neither, would you buy OMI or VeVe Gold logo at the current price? It's so hard. The gold logo is definitely more stable, and I can definitely see that doing a 10x plus. But honestly, even though OMI, you could lose 50% on it in the coming months, but I think ROI, OMI is going to be the better bet for you over the next few years. And also, like, you have to be very choosy about when to sell the logo, because it's one item, but OMI you could sell 5% at one spot, 10% at another, and you could sell on the way up, and you can, so OMI's probably has a little bit more versatility, and you don't have to sell all at once, and it's probably going to have the better ROI if I had neither of them. Now, if that's just specifically for that type of ROI. Now, again, the Gold Logo Group does have amazing people in it. It's a great network. And if you're someone that's looking to hustle, it's looking to work, it's looking to do whatever, it's like, hey, I have a gold logo. If you go to, and like there's multiple people with businesses there. If you go to multiple people with businesses there, and it's like, hey, my name is the Cordial Goat Slayer. Randy Chavez kind of brought me here. I was a vet. I didn't serve with him, but he kind of knows me and knows I'm a hard worker. And like, listen, I know as a business owner, no one's ever going to work as hard for your company as you are, but I guarantee you, I'll be the next best worker. I'll be the next hardest worker next to you. I can learn like nobody else's business. You will be absolutely impressed with my attendance. And I just want to work for you. I'll take a job. I'll take any job. Let me prove my value to you. You say it just like that. And I guarantee you'll be like, okay, let's try it out. What are your skills? We'll try out here, try doing whatever. And then this way you can go and start building a network. So again, I'm not talking about this specifically for you, but it's like for anyone that's looking to build their network, and then you work for someone, again, one of these guys that have businesses, you get to learn how that business works, and you get to pick like their brain, like all the time, like that. Like if I was, let's say like 20, but and I had that, I might just go for the logo, and then because who knows with OMI, and you're not really learning that much by buying a bunch of OMI. If you watch it every day and become obsessed with it while you're doing other stuff, and it's like, okay, maybe you learn about cycles, maybe you learn about how much of an increase in buys affects the price, depending on what platform you buy on, and it will make you more money, but does it make you smarter or more well-rounded? I think the connection that you can make if you're like 20 years old and you're somebody that wants to network, wants to you go and do that, because you never know who you can meet. I take a lot of meetings, a lot of them that I shouldn't take, but because you never know who you can meet. So yeah. If you can use collectibles in VeVe versus games and long-term ROI, I think we best VeVe NFTs versus OMI, but yeah. Well, I'm thinking OMI in the midterm. I don't know how long we'll have to wait for games. We've been waiting for Ten Goku Senso for like 4 years. And I know now it's a lot easier to build games with AI, but I am not confident that, even if they say, yeah, we're doing games, we want to do games, it's going to take them like 2 years for one game. Man, I did not bring enough water. I have self-custody plus VeVe and Team Metaverse, other metaverses, dude. Yeah, this is why I have, how much do I even freaking have? I'm gonna go to VeVe, my collection. This is why I have 1,200 collectibles and 2,300 comics. Hold on 1 second here. Sheesh. Let the games begin. Okay. All right, let's go back to my. Oh yeah, okay. So that was it for the news. We're at 3 hours. So everybody, we're gonna please comment, like, and subscribe. Comment's good for the YouTube algorithm. Let me just take a photo here for the 3 hours, 342 people. Blah, 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 blah. I want to NFT speculation forever. VeVe speculation forever. Then they came true. The collectibles gaming is speculation. Don't want to bite into it until it happens. Just wait then. I have no problem waiting. Been waiting this long, you know. Thanks for the insights, Senor Chavez. Good Friday stream. See you in the next one. They were talking about integration of collectibles, like 50 seconds, about how big companies want blockchain collectibles. Yes, they do. And they've probably been plans for it for a while. Anyway, everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Until next time, on the next exciting episode of Dragon Balls.